What's up everyone, Lois McTaggart is back in the building. Today we're plunging into a high-octane new manhwa, The Regressor's hidden livestream. Trust me, this series is destined to become an absolute masterpiece in the very near future, no cap. Hanbit stands amidst a desolate battlefield, a silent desperate prayer on his lips to the goddess. She was the one who begged for his help. After finally slaying that colossal abomination, he casts a weary gaze toward the heavens. Save this crumbling world. The entire horizon is drenched in the bleeding hues of sunset, echoing Hanbit's agonizing plea. That is why I sacrificed everything I had. He takes a dazed, trembling step forward. Is this nightmare finally over? What became of the others? Where are his comrades? But Hanbit's broken body has finally hit its breaking point. A torrent of crimson spills onto the dirt with every agonizing stride. He forced. Hanbit's visage turns deathly pale, his vision blurring into a haze, his lips quiver, failing to utter a single word. My body refuses to obey me. Hanbit collapses, backward staring up at a mocking rose-tinted sky. I'm so exhausted. Drained of life, he slips into unconsciousness. For a fleeting second, Hanbit fights to cling to reality. I can't fade out now. He tries to command his fading will, but his eyelids succumb to the darkness. As Hanbit drifts in the void, a cold mechanical voice pierces his ears. Status critical light. Death confirmed. Regression initiated. 31st. Soul possession. 17 reincarnations. A grand total of 55 regressions. Hanbit irritably snaps his eyes open and surveys his surroundings. Damn it, I'm at my limit. Just how many damn times does this make? He snarls internally. This cycle ended. After he suffered like a common dog once again, Hanbit looks up as the goddess's ethereal voice resonates. That one felt rather lengthy, he scowls, radiating pure annoyance. Rather lengthy, huh? She is enveloped in a blinding radiant aura, her tone sounding distinctly detached. You're really the one to say that. Hanbit barks at the deity, the goddess, gazes down from her celestial heights and declares, this time, how about we pivot to a reincarnation? After a much-needed respite, he bolts upright in a fury and bellows, cut the crap. Hanbit glares directly into her frigid eyes, silently condemning her. This void-like emotionless entity, it's frankly revolting that she's even called a goddess. The more he dwells on it, the more his blood boils. You're the one who dragged me to this hellhole. No, you abducted me, Hanbit feels like nothing more than a mindless puppet, dancing for the goddess. From a time he can no longer even vividly recall, the goddess snatched him away and marooned him here. He remembers every ounce of agony he's endured. And then she abruptly commanded him to locate the airport, to salvage the world before hurling him into this foreign realm. And that was the dawn of his personal hell. The monotonous robotic voice echoed incessantly, you have perished. Every time Hanbit was shredded or broken, that voice would chime, you have perished. That voice became a psychological haunting. You have perished. Through 55 grueling regressions, I've endured every flavor of torture known to man, to the point where I can't even count the myriad ways I've been slaughtered. In the end, I still haven't uncovered even a microscopic clue as to what the airport actually represents. Hanbit storms toward her, lashing out in a fit of rage. I am finished with this circus. Do you hear me? This airport nonsense, or whatever it is, go find it yourself from now on. The goddess merely counters with her flat monotone drone, I cannot comply. Should I intervene, this world will face total annihilation. His face twists in a snarl, his voice shaking. Before that happens, my sanity will be completely pulverized, you wretched goddess. She tilts her head to observe him and retorts, that is perplexing. I have verified that the mental restoration system is still operating within normal parameters. Hanbit's voice trembles with pure venom. I literally cannot reason with her. Damn it. He contemplates his grim fate in this world. After all, it is the objective truth. No matter how violently I am torn apart, as long as I return to this sanctuary, both my flesh and soul will be flawlessly reconstituted. Those traumatic memories continue to prey upon Hanbit, but those haunting memories never release their grip. The agonizing sensation of pain as death's cold embrace closed in remains, unbearably vivid, slowly eroding the fragments of my shattered sanity. The psychological trauma of all that unrelenting agony accumulated over 55 brutal lives pushed me past my absolute breaking point an eternity ago. The goddess's hollow mechanical voice resonates once more. It is nearly time to commence the next cycle. Do you wish to undergo regression? This time as well, her nonchalance finally makes him snap. Damn it, I already told you I'm finished with this hell. But her detached response drives Hanbit even deeper into pure insanity. Biologically, this vessel is female, so fulfilling your previous request is a physical impossibility. Just as he is on the verge of total despair, the goddess interjects. I am merely jesting. Hanbit's pupils contract in sheer paralyzed shock. What? The goddess? Continues in an eerily encouraging tone. You have performed admirably in the role mandated to you. You are now fully eligible to return to your original dimension. He breaks into a frantic cold sweat. Is the nightmare finally over? But I undeniably failed to save this world 55 times over. She dismissively shakes her head. The struggle holds more weight than the outcome. You no longer need to burden yourself with such concerns. The goddess extends a finger toward Hanbit. Therefore, I shall repatriate you immediately. He panics desperately, trying to halt the process as his body erupts in a brilliant blue glow. Wait, hold on a second. Stop, I still have a million questions. She watches with chilling indifference as Hanbit is forcibly extricated. Thanks to your efforts, I have garnered significant assistance. Everything you've amassed shall manifest as a source of transcendent power. He bellows in a state of sheer panic. You're just going to give me a parting speech and then discard me. What is wrong with you, you psychotic woman? The goddess stands tall and imposing, watching Hanbit get consumed by the light, and whispers, I shall be expecting great things from you there as well. He winces at the piercing sound of Si-yeon's voice. Hanbit moms heading to work. Hanbit bolts upright, bearing his face in his trembling hands with a heavy sigh. Ugh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Heat. Stumbles out of bed, resting a shaky hand on the doorknob, his mind racing. 18 months. Hanbit scratches his head and trudges out. 18. Long months have passed since I clawed my way back to reality. He wanders into the living room, scanning the mundane surroundings. Because I spent eons regressing. Possessing various souls and traversing alien worlds, I had virtually zero recollection of my actual life, but now the foggy memories are slowly resurfacing. Hanbit mutters under his breath. So mom already headed out for work. He glares with annoyance at the overflowing laundry basket. Of all days, the day that goddess abducted me was the exact day before my military enlistment. Hanbit scowls and exhales sharply, just like that. 18 months have vanished and I was just honorably discharged yesterday. While drowning his frustrations in a glass of water, he grumbles. The more he ruminates, the more triggered he becomes. Hanbit reflects on his grueling time in the service. If I calculate every single instance I was forced to serve during my regressions and transmigrations, this was actually the 6th time. I've been a soldier. Of course, the modern military is a bit different from those fantasy battlefields, but he collapses back into his chair, staring blankly at the ceiling. Adjusting to this boring modern life is a nightmare. It's all that cursed goddess's fault. I had to prepare like a lunatic just to land a measly internship, and I don't even know how long I'll survive there. If I return to campus, I'll have to scramble for early employment immediately. Man, my future looks absolutely desolate. The room is plunged into silence save for a relentless notification chime. It rings incessantly, grating on Hanbit's nerves. All right, shut up, I'm coming. He snatches up his smartphone. It's a text. Hyung, let's tear it up tonight. Hanbit sits down and types back. Curtly, know your limits. You lunatic. Your Hyung is ancient and exhausted. Kid. The guy on the other end fires back. Mischievously, what? That's all you chicken. Bro. Chicken. He feels a white-hot surge of irritation at the taunt. This little punk actually has the gall to provoke me. Hanbit looks up and sighs. But whatever. It's irrelevant. He envisions 2 familiar faces. After all, he's the precious little brother who looked after me. The moment I return to this reality, only to be shoved right back into the army. A new message flashes on the screen. Actually, that whole drinking binge was just a teaser. I've scored a real discharge trophy for you. Hanbit is momentarily stunned and shoots back. A discharge gift? What's with the sudden charity? The younger man shifts into playful mode again. Oh, cut the act, Hyung. Your reply speed tripled the second I mentioned a prize. He falls into a thoughtful silence. A gift, huh? If it's from this brat, it might actually be something worth having. Hanbit arrives at the rendezvous. Ju Yeon-yu waves frantically. Hanbit Hyung. Over here, old man. He beams with a radiant grin. Don't sweat it, I already ordered for you. He silently scrutinizes the kid. That's Ju Yeon-yu for you. He was technically my senior by 4 months back. In the trenches, despite being 5 years my junior. He takes a seat and sparks the conversation. You went hard on the bottle yesterday yet? Yeon-yu, you look infuriatingly sober. Yeon-yu gives a smug nod. Perks of youth, Hyung, you should try it sometime. Hanbit, while shoveling ice cream, grunts. Enough talk, where's the loot? The kid feigns a wounded heart. Demanding the goods already. You're cold-blooded man. He frostily snatches his bag, pivoting as if to vanish. Today was a blast. Catch. Yeah, later. Yeon-yu hits the panic button and lunges forward. Wait. Up Hyung, my bad. He fishes out a sleek card and slides it toward Hanbit. That game, I hyped up remember the Black or Blue project. Yeonyu smirks, dangling the bait. This is an LT membership card. Level 2 no less, a total rarity. You can deploy the full rig to dive into LT from the comfort of home. Plus it's a level 2. High sync interface. He stares blankly at a premium card in his palm. Consider this my tribute to you. Just take it, don't play hard to get. Yeonyu winks with a devious glint. It retails for about 500 grand, but for you, it's on the house. Seduced by the card's value, Hanbit parks himself back down. Do you need a house sitter? Just leave the keys to me. He lets out a laugh and retorts, my place has plenty of vacant rooms. Are you actually proposing we shack up? He raises a palm to kill the idea. Just joking. I actually landed a gig. Starting tomorrow, the grind begins. So I probably won't have time for digital fantasies. I'm aware your family situation is bleeding you dry and you might even be hunting for a second job. Yeonyu's eyes ignite with intensity when he mentions this pivot. In short, the absolute priority is still stacking paper right, Hanbit. He smirks, his voice laced with realism. Obviously, instead of squandering hours on games, grinding a part-time job is the only logical move. The kid flashes a blindingly bright smile and counters. Man, you really don't have a single romantic bone in your miserable body. He roughly snatches Yeonyu's hair and growls, listen here, you punk. Does romance put steak on the plate? Can pixels feed your soul? The kid shrieks in pure terror. I haven't even reached the punchline yet. Writhing in pain, Yeonyu begs for a truce. Depending on your skill and ability, you can rewrite your destiny and amass a fortune in a heartbeat. Finally, he reveals the staggering truth. The payouts can reach into the billions. I'm dead serious. Hanbit's resolve wavers. As he releases Yeonyu's scalp, billions. He sets him free and meticulously adjusts his own seat. Hanbit leans in, his expression shifting to one of deadly seriousness. Please forgive my unwarranted rudeness first. Sergeant Ju Yeonyu, I humbly request a detailed briefing. The kid wipes a bead of sweat and unlocks his device. Alright, check this. Sergeant King Hanbit, you know the titans behind LTP are Team Zero, right? My bad, but I haven't the slightest clue what you're rambling about. The final will of Michael Owen, the visionary founder of Team Zero, was just declassified recently, and it sent shockwaves through the globe. Yeonyu thrust the glowing screen directly into his face. The absolute ownership of LP will be bequeathed to the first player to conquer the game. It was already a global phenomenon, a white-hot title. But after this revelation, it absolutely went nuclear, naturally. The market value of in-game relics has surged past the stratosphere. Hanbit listens with rapt attention as he breaks it down. Especially the classified intel to clearing the game, people will pay any astronomical price demanded right now. Even the titan conglomerates are hemorrhaging billions to assemble elite pro-gaming squads just to find a path to victory, to conquer the game. He closes his eyes, enduring the younger man's endless rambling. Of course, that doesn't imply that solo players are completely out of the running. Hanbit calculates the odds in silence. It was Michael Owen himself who dictated these terms, so he nods, reaching a sudden definitive conclusion. Fine, let's see if I can break this game. Yeonyu's eyes ignite with pure ecstasy. Are you serious? No. Takebacks allowed. He beams with excitement. I've invested so much into this setup, so what kind of waves we can make. Hanbit offers a smirk of approval. Attaboy. Yeonyu frantically snatches up his tactical backpack. In that case, should we mobilize immediately? Hanbit shoots him a look of pure exhaustion. Give me a break. The following morning at a massive launch event, Hanbit stands amidst the surging crowd looking utterly repulsed. Hey Yeonyu, isn't this place a claustrophobic nightmare? The kid just flashes a carefree, innocent grin. Compared to the madness in the US or Europe, this is practically a ghost town. Yeonyu suddenly grips his collar with fervor. Our objective is this way. Move it. Hanbit bellows in sheer confusion. Why are you manhandling my collar? The kid's eyes shimmer with intensity. First, order of business, we must secure the essential starter guidebook. Hanbit blankly allows himself to be hauled through the crowd. A guidebook. Why can't we just dive headfirst into the simulation? Yeonyu drags Hanbit toward a shelf and snatches a thick volume. You're clueless, Hyung. LP isn't your typical hand-holding beginner's experience. He proudly presents the manual and introduces it with reverence. That's why a legend named Adventurer drafted this specific survival guide for newbies. Without this, I would have tapped out weeks ago. This is gospel from a seasoned veteran. Buying this isn't optional, it's survival. Hanbit indifferently flips the book open. Yeah, I hear you. Let me just scan the contents before I waste my money. Suddenly, his thunderous voice erupts. What in the absolute hell is this? Yeonyu's eyes bulge in shock. What's the matter? The goddess's chilling mechanical voice suddenly vibrates in Hanbit's psyche. Didn't I mention that I was anticipating this? He mutters in a daze of confusion. How is this even possible? He grimaces, his voice vibrating with suppressed rage, ordering me to find the airport again. Hanbit has been consumed by a singular obsession for the past 2 agonizing years, and unanswered riddle has relentlessly haunted my mind. I shall be waiting for you. There. What was the true intent behind those words, and why? Did she grant me my freedom? In the first place, it seems every move was calculated. He's spiraling into thought, oblivious to Yeonyu's frantic calls. Hanbit Hyung Earth too. Hanbit, talk to me, man. Hanbit remains submerged in his own mental labyrinth. From the very outset, that woman never had any intention of letting me go. He bellows, Hanbit Hyung. He is violently jerked back to reality. Yeonyu probes with a worried gaze. Why do you look so haunted, do you think? The barrier to entry is too high. Hanbit shakes, his head in a daze. It's not that. I need to ask you something vital. He taps the guidebook in his hand. Do you possess any intel on the shadowy group called Team Zero? The kid lowers his voice. Everyone knows the brand, but the inner workings are a total enigma. All public relations are managed by the current high-profile representative of Team Zero, personally. I believe it's Michael Whiten's youngest daughter. Both the scale of the dev team and the identities of the members are guarded as top-tier secrets. Hanbit rubs his chin, lost in a sea of suspicion. Suspicious indeed. Could this organization have some clandestine link to that goddess? But why is the ultimate endgame a mere video game? He scowls, desperately trying to connect the dots. Why? Hanbit slowly closes his eyes as traumatic memories resurface. The vision of him kneeling amongst the smoldering ashes of a scorched battlefield flickers through his mind. The hellish world I was unceremoniously thrust into wasn't just some harmless simulation. In that memory, he furiously clutched his blade and struck out with savage desperation, the raw, visceral disgust of extinguishing a life with his own hands for the very first time. Hanbit's battered frame collapses onto the scorched earth as lifeblood gushes out, the visceral horror of experiencing the void for the first time, and then the goddess's frigid, detached voice resonates. So, you have failed me yet again. He ruminates bitterly on that moment, even the soul-crushing despair of being forced to repeat that agonizing cycle endlessly remains etched into his psyche. Hanbit can't help but second-guess his own resolve. Is he making a catastrophic mistake by voluntarily diving back into what could be the exact same purgatory? Perhaps, but maybe this time he can finally sever the chains of this eternal suffering. Jolted back to reality, he holds up the sleek bank card. You claim I can use this to secure the gaming rig, right? How long until it actually arrives? Yeonyu slides the smartphone into Hanbit's palm. Likely within 2 hours. In this day and age, express delivery is the standard. Hand over your device. I'll pre-install the vital applications to get you synced. He steps closer and firmly taps Hanbit's tense shoulder. By the way, invest in a new guidebook. This one is absolutely trashed. The duo exits the bustling mall just as the horizon bleeds into dusk. Yeonyu gives a sharp wave as he departs. I'm plunging into the simulation first. The moment your account is active, ping me immediately. I'm counting on you, Hyung. Hanbit gestures back dismissively. I'll attempt to log on as swiftly as humanly possible. He thinks to himself, even if I sprint home, the hardware probably won't have materialized yet. But the moment Hanbit returns, he spots a high-tech crate resting right at his threshold. No way it's already here. He stoops down, hauls the heavy box, and heads inside. A gaming rig, valued at 5 million won in a flash. Hanbit expertly unboxes the unit and arrays the gear across his bed. Driven by curiosity, he examines each intricate component. Hanbit securely bolts his door. There's still a narrow window of time before Mom returns from her shift. First, he snaps the interface bracelet onto his wrist. Let's see if this lives up to the hype. The specialized gear is now fitted perfectly onto Hanbit. He reclines on the mattress and initiates the sequence to enter the virtual void. The system's cold synthetic voice booms, initiating. Biometric scan. Analyzing neural patterns. Neural link. Established. Character initialized. Commencing. Aesthetic customization. Hanbit gazes around in sheer awe. This feels disturbingly more realistic than I anticipated. Perhaps it's the high sync gear, but my limbs feel strangely weighted. With a surge of excitement, he inspects his digital form. I heard you can meticulously sculpt your avatar. I'll refine it a bit, but wait, why isn't the configuration window manifesting? Is this thing glitched? They marketed this as a masterpiece? But this interface seems half-baked. Suddenly, his expression hardens as he glares at the flickering prompt before him. Whatever. A hard restart should fix the bug. Is this the emergency exit? Without a second thought, he slams the button. Abruptly, the system shifts into a crimson alert, character customization aborted. Handbit panics, his voice cracking as he screams, "Wait! Hold on a damn second, is that my actual avatar goddess? Is this your twisted doing too?" Regardless of his frantic protests, the automation proceeds. In a blur of light, Hanbit is outfitted with unfamiliar gear. He snaps his eyes open to witness screeching seagulls, spiraling above a sun-drenched beach and crashing white surf. The coordinates Hanbit has been warped to belong to the legendary port city of Aeon. Standing on the deck of a ship, he surveys the cityscape. It's been an eternity since he last set foot here. Only now does Hanbit catch a glimpse of his own reflection in a nearby window. He freezes, paralyzed by shock. He looks impossibly dangerously handsome. Is this? Hanbit dazedly traces the contours of his face. He looks exactly as he did during the peak of his final regression. Suddenly, a vivid streak of crimson manifests on his cheek. Is this? A cryptic omen from the goddess Hanbit stares in sheer horror at the bloodstains blooming on his palms. Does everything truly have to reset back to zero? He gazes at his trembling hands. Suddenly, a social notification pings. From Yeon U, Hyung add me. Right now, send the request. Yo Hyung Sergeant Kang, quit ignoring the call. Get a move on, man. He stares in utter disbelief as he registers that handle. He clutches his temples, muttering, Lopa is Yeon U's tag. Right? Where's the damn button to add him? Yeon U's voice suddenly pierces the air. Hyung. He charges forward, radiating pure energy to greet him. I specifically told you to ping me the millisecond. You breached the server, Hanbit asks. With a vacant stare. Is that really you? Yeon Yu, yeah. That obnoxious energy is unmistakable. Yeon Yu. Blinks momentarily stunned, then leans in, menacingly close to taunt him. Wait, why on earth did you settle on that avatar? Practically. Nobody clones their real-world face in this game. Give me a break. Hanbit lets out a hollow forced laugh. It was a technical glitch. Yeon-Yu's eyes ignite with mischievous glee. Well, I guess it radiates your grumpy vibe, but what's the deal with that cursed username? He retorts in a deadpan drone, username what? Did it assign me? Yeon-Yu flashes a predatory smirk. You finalize the prompt yourself and you're playing dumb. Check the character profile tab. Right this second. Hanbit's finger paralyzes when he glimpses his in-game alias. While the kid is howling with laughter, Hanbit's visage contorts in visceral disgust. He savagely snatches Yeon-Yu's hair. I never authorized this name. Find a way to purge it now. The kid is doubled over, breathless. Did you ignore every single warning during the setup? This moniker is hard-coded into your biometric signature. It's permanent. He bellows in sheer fury. I'm seriously about to snap. Yeon-Yu is still convulsing with laughter. My lungs, this is comedy gold. Hanbit is so livid, he's tempted to put him in a chokehold. Wipe that smirk off your face. You little brat. Yeon-Yu shrieks in agony. Mercy! Mercy Hyung checked the system alert. First, he scowls, profoundly irritated by the pop-up obstructing his view. What asinine notification is it now? Hanbit grimly processes the text flooding the screen. What is the meaning of this? You're broadcasting this disaster. Your gameplay feed will be transmitted live to Lopa's channel. Do you authorize? The brat lunges to intercept the agree button. Yeon-Yu is laughing so violently he's tearing up. Even if the metrics aren't explosive yet, I'm grinding daily. LB has its own integrated streaming hub called D-Core. It's an absolute rush to slay monsters and chat in real time. Hyung, he interrogates. Is this the lucrative opportunity you promised? Why the hell should I live stream my life? He dismisses the concern with a chuckle. Don't. Get cold feet, I'll handle the production. You just focus on the carnage. We'll split the loot 50-50. If the metric skyrocket, I'm open to negotiating a fatter cut. Hanbit shoots Yeon-Yu a look of concentrated venom. He crosses his arms, grinding his molars, and glares at the horizon. Fine, I'm cornered. So if we bank, 1,001 my share is 500. Correct. Yeon-Yu casually drapes a heavy arm around Hanbit's shoulders. Just take a leap of faith for once. He hauls him forward and ignites the stream. What's up, chat? Lopa checking in. Joining the fray today is the one and only Dark Dragon. Stay tuned for some legendary high-stakes content coming your way. He beams at the interface, watching the vitriol flood the chat. Welcome the rookie. That handle is cringeworthy beyond belief. Hanbit scowls while scanning the scrolling text. These trolls must be suffering from terminal puberty. Peak edgelord energy, zero artistic integrity. At this pathetic level, he's more of a dirtworm than a dragon. Yeon-Yu Hisses a low warning, maintain. Your composure, Hyung. If you tilt, the trolls win. Did you lose sight of the fact that we're here to stack paper? Hanbit whispers. Back, they are clearly trying to orchestrate my mental breakdown. The comments continue to hemorrhage. I'm still awake. Old man, a D-list streamer, catching feelings over toxic vibes. Yeon Yu hits him with the puppy dog eyes, pleading, "Big bro, I'm begging you, just play along." Whatever. What's the next move in this circus? The toxic feed continues to accelerate. Let me give you a masterclass in true toxicity. Yeon Yu speaks up to clarify the fundamental laws of this realm. Since you're a total novice, let's start by analyzing the recommended skill sets. The system is about to deep scan your player profile and suggest the 3 specialized skills that align with your potential. Hanbit crosses his arms, nodding as he absorbs the briefing. He muses internally. I've mastered a mountain of techniques across those 55 brutal lifetimes. It would be revolutionary if those lethal arts could be manifested as skills in this realm. He reaches out, tapping a spectral card hovering before him. The kid's eyes ignite with anticipation at the card Hanbit selected. Let's see the goods, Lopa. I'm dying to witness what you've pulled. Both of them are frozen in absolute disbelief as an incandescent radiance erupts in the air. Suddenly, a chaotic, swirling vortex of cards begins to manifest. They both witness the spectacle in utter bewilderment. Hyung, what the hell is happening? Is the result really that explosive? The viewers are relentlessly spamming question marks, unable to process the anomaly unfolding on screen. What in the world? The cards suddenly strobe before their eyes at a frantic, dizzying speed. Yeon Yu and Hanbit look up in shock as the chat explodes. How did he trigger that sequence? Must be a critical system failure. That's a blatant bug. Wait, if it's truly a dev error, do we get compensation? Come on, get real. You're clearly using a script, right? I'm reporting this fraud immediately. Yo, I want a glitch like that too. Ugh, this garbage. Game is breaking again. It's obviously a hack. The kid's jaw drops as he bellows, "Hey bro, how in the name of God did you pull that off?" He awkwardly retorts. Why is everyone acting like I'm under interrogation? Yeon Yu stares lost in pure unadulterated shock. He is completely paralyzed. Is this actually but Hanbit demands? What's the catch? Why are you guys losing your minds? Yeon Yu inhales sharply, his pupils dilating as he white-knuckles his fist. Hidden skills, that is undeniably a hidden skill set. Yeon Yu erupts in a cheer. This is madness, and it looks like there's more than just a single lonely card. The viewers are floored. This is insane. What a monumental glitch. But if he secures hidden relics, will the payout be legendary? Only a scrub would ask that. A comment flashes by. I wonder what the drop rate probability is. He locks his gaze onto the shimmering cards spread before him. Even so, the system calls it a mere suggestion. His eyes burn with a focused intensity. This isn't just some random suggestion. These cards are etched with ancient symbols I've never encountered anywhere. Guys, look at this. It's peak performance. While Yeon Yu celebrates wildly in the background, Hanbit scrutinizes the deck, can decipher the true essence behind every single one. Without a shred of doubt, he selects card. A starting hand like this isn't half bad. Hanbit pivots back to interrogate him. But to you, isn't 1,001 still actual currency? Yeon Yu crosses his arms, affecting a nonchalant air. Even if it's a pittance in the world of business, finances must be crystal clear. He clears his throat, adopting a serious analyst persona. It might be marginal, but to me, everyone is sacred. If you and 1,001 bill were both drowning, I'd definitely prioritize the bill. The kid recoils in mock agony. That's just brutal, man. The comments flood in with savage ratings. This deadbeat isn't even worth $1. He's got less value than a scrap tire. The market value of your soul is being liquidated at a clearance price. Yeon Yu regains his composure and glares at the interface. Anyway, this fire magic specialty needs to be registered at Julio. He begins to march off, but seeing Hanbit rooted to the spot, like a statue, he yells, "Move it, what? Are you standing there like a zombie for..." He counters Yeon Yu with a specific inquiry. I need to locate a magic master. Are you familiar with this individual? On Hanbit's interface, a portrait of a girl materializes. The kid gawks at Hanbit's holographic screen. To master the arcane arts. Don't I require a mentor? But his outdated logic is absolutely triggering the viewers. Who does this newbie think he is? Spouting all this prehistoric nonsense. Anyone dreaming of becoming a mage? Come find me. Is he delusional or just reading a script from 10 years ago? Yeon Yu quickly shoves him aside to run damage control. Whoa! Everyone take a chill pill. My brother here just doesn't grasp how this world functions yet. Hanbit grumbles irritably. What's the damn issue now? He glares at the interface icons on the screen and retorts, you just need to grind quests. and clear achievements to obtain skill books instantly. Even the most advanced AI NPCs don't actually waste their time teaching skills. He rests his chin on his palm contemplating that. Manual. Skill books, this world has certainly become far too convenient. Hanbit visualizes a memory of himself collapsed on the dirt, desperately pleading with his mentor. Maybe we should call it a day? The master stands tall with hands on hips, barking back, stop your pathetic whining. Get up this instant. There is still a mountain of arcane knowledge, waiting for your mind to absorb. He dwells helplessly on those punishing days. I remember back then, it was infinitely more of a soul-crushing struggle than this. Hanbit speaks up. Let's move. We're navigating to the general store. Correct Yeonyu blinks in utter shock. Wait, how do you know the layout so well? He grimaces at the awkwardness of the interaction while scanning the live comments. Racing by. A mage magic is a literal joke. Class. Dark dragon chasing romance. That sounds edgy as hell. Magic my ass? Hanbit mumbles under his breath. What's with these trolls? Is magic really that garbage? In this game, the kid blinks and scratches his head. Well, it's like this. Yeonyu's voice drops to a serious octave to explain. The most defining factor in this entire game is your proficiency level. Compared to physical skills grinding proficiency, for magic is a psychological nightmare. He meticulously breaks down the mechanics. When the proficiency gauge finally maxes out, a star will manifest, but until that precise moment, you have no clue how much progress you've actually made. The screen flashes yet another toxic jab. Seriously, this class needs a major patch. If you're clueless, just go fail at it. If you're a dark dragon who spams one low tier spell for 2 months, then quits crying. I'm definitely subbing for that. Agonizing memories surge through his mind once more. I remember it vividly. Having talent and pouring blood into the effort to master a craft is only natural. Hanbit recalls the legendary items he once wielded. Among all paths, magic possessed an extreme difficulty curve. That is exactly why for magic securing a true master is the most critical step. He asks in a cold, flat voice, so who's going to instruct me? Do I get a choice in the matter? Yeonyu immediately replies. A teacher, deep down Hanbit, is burning with resolve, must transcend and grow strong. Using these digital tools as a primitive stepping stone, I'll bridge the gap between this reality and the hellscape I once survived. And I'll unmask the true motive that Goddess is keeping in the shadows. He suddenly, vividly recalls the icy, piercing eyes of the Goddess. Hanbit doesn't hesitate to tap the console. I'll begin with fire magic. Something straightforward and lethal. He looks up and questions. The kid, Lopa, where do I initiate? The starter quest, Yeonyu stares at. Hanbit's screen in disbelief. Whoa, are you seriously going down the suicide path of magic? He's curious. Why? Is there a problem with pursuing the arcane? The kid reveals the truth. You can purchase basic fire magic books from that greedy old merchant Julio at the general store. He stares in shock. Julio? That hideous scam artist. Hanbit asks with concern. Are you honestly suggesting I deal with him? Yeonyu replies innocently. Well, you need a spellbook to start. He looks. I'm dead serious. That man is a quintessential villain. Every single tome he peddles is a calculated fraud. The interface erupts with a fresh wave of judgment from the spectators. Maybe it's just because his face is so punchable. Julio is probably weeping a river right about now. He manipulates the truth as naturally as breathing. The man is unequivocally not someone you want to cross. Meanwhile, Yeonyu is riding the hype train. Julio just dropped 1,001 donation. I'm suing him, mark my words. His eyes shimmer with blatant avarice. Oh my god, huge thanks to Julio for that 1,001 contribution. Hanbit interjects, did the funds actually hit the account? Yeonyu confirms with a radiant beam. You bet. After the transaction fees, my brother just pocketed a cool 501. Hanbit's eyes widen completely, ensnared by the allure of profit. Oh, the chat scrolls by again. So, that's the play exploiting a hidden skill. To chase a quick buck, how incredibly naive can you get? Yeonyu hisses under his breath, that bit isn't half bad, but if you overplay it, you're going to get roasted alive. Hanbit scowls and asserts firmly. Look, this isn't some stage performance. He visualizes the treacherous words of Bear. I don't know where you unearthed that intel, but to most players, Bear is just a standard quest giver. Hanbit is convinced that a deceitful thieving NPC would vanish into thin air the moment they were exposed. Even if the character model is adorable and legions of fans are clamoring for a custom story arc just for her. He exhales a weary, ragged sigh and pivots. Fine, let's just let the results do the talking. Time to track her down. Hanbit freezes, scanning the vitriol flashing before him. The concept is cool, but it's becoming a nuisance. You claim to be a noob. So why are you being so damn stubborn? Seriously, he's incredibly thick-headed. He raises his voice. Fine, we're making his beehive our first stop. We'll just follow the path everyone is obsessing over. The comments keep hemorrhaging. He's actually caving to the feedback. If that old geezer is truly a scammer, I'm betting 10,001 on it. The stakes are set. If it's not a scam, you owe us a sexy dance. Let's go. Damn it, why do I have to witness that monstrosity? Handbit makes an instantaneous call. Let's move. It's a done deal. He flushes with irritation, recalling his own questionable rhythm. 860? I can break out a sexy dance. I can even manifest a sexy dance at a moment's notice. Back in the barracks, I was dancing 24/7. The viewers take turns hater aid. Who would even want to see that? This is a textbook case of supply drastically exceeding demand. Which one of you sickos suggested the sexy dance anyway? Handbit regains his composure and turns to goad him. Whatever, let's roll. Follow my lead. The kid stares blankly at the direction he's heading. Why are you going that way? Hanbit turns his head and retorts, I'm taking a tactical shortcut. Yeonyu innocently scampers after him. Wait, how do you know this layout? I thought this was your first time in-game. Hanbit replies in a dangerously lazy tone, just call it a primal gut feeling. Soon they stand before the threshold of Julio's shop. Alright guys, we've arrived. He peers into the interior and spots Julio's cowering, pathetic silhouette. A lightning-fast thought strikes Hanbit's mind. Julio! His knuckles whiten as his hands tremble with rage. Visions from his past life, suffocating memories, begin flooding back in a torrent. Hanbit asks, what's the cap on NPC interaction? The kid stands by his side and clarifies. The freedom here is so vast, it's easier to list the impossibilities. It's so unrestricted that, occasionally, it actually shatters the game's intended progression. The chat flashes before their eyes once more. This level of sandbox freedom is actually mental. For real, if you harass an NPC, you could end up rotting in a dungeon. Some players had to delete their accounts because their quest got soft-locked. Total freedom always demands responsibility, Hyung. He grinds his teeth in silent fury while listening to the voice beside him. Hanbit storms into the shop like a man possessed by a mission. He kicks the door open with explosive force. The atmosphere surrounding Hanbit is suffocating with tension. But inside Julio's shop, the ambiance is deceptively bright and cheery as he plasters on a fake smile. Welcome, esteemed patron. Suddenly, Hanbit lunges and seizes the man's collar. He growls a lethal interrogation. Even in this life, you're still bottom-feeding like this. He glares with unadulterated rage at Julio's bewildered face. You absolute stain of irredeemable filth. Yeonyu swings, the door wide, paralyzed in sheer shock at the sight of Hanbit's back. His face drains of color, hand clamped over his mouth to stifle a frantic scream. He can't believe his eyes. Is the dark dragon actually doing this? Comments flooding with disbelief surge in. He's dead meat. He actually assaulted a crucial NPC. Admin, prepare the ban hammer for another account deletion. Hanbit radiates a freezing, murderous aura, staring down at the man with visceral contempt. Julio is sweating buckets while being practically throttled. Why would a valued customer say such vile things? Didn't you come here seeking a skill book? First of all, unhand me this instant. Hanbit pierces him with a razor-sharp glare, making the air even more stifling. Then, he abruptly releases his grip and looms over him. After the brutal intimidation, Julio clutches his chest, stammering out excuses for the chaotic incident that just transpired. However, that specific magic Tom was the final copy in stock. I am truly sorrowful for the inconvenience. The old fox squints craftily, dangling a sly proposition. It might not be much of a recompense, but I can refer you to an exclusive shop. Julio bows low and rubs his palms together, negotiating like a snake. On the condition that you assist me with a minor task. He fumbles through his pockets under Hanbit's piercing, suspicious gaze. A thief crept in while I was dozing. Julio brandishes a shimmering orange necklace, flaunting it. In my professional opinion, this is a foul play. From a jealous rival, he narrows his eyes, cunningly while peering at Hanbit. Would you be willing to hunt her down with me? A quest. Window erupts with enticing rewards. A new quest. Julio's purloined pouch. Follow the clues to apprehend the culprit and deliver them to the general store owner. Rewards. 100 gold. Recommendation for a level 1 fireball skill book or 50 EXP, no time limit. 966, a tidal wave of skeptical comments floods the feed. The circus is in town. 968, where's that dark dragon who just swore? That dark dragon punk just claimed this whole thing was a scam. Someone insisted the spellbooks were all fraudulent. Is he actually going to have to do that sexy dance now? We Won the wager, but why does it feel like we've been played? Julio grins with a toothy yellowed smirk. What do you think of this generous offer? Hanbit remains stoic despite the treacherous proposal. Actually dares to use a blatant fabrication to trigger a quest. He remembers when Heibbe smiled with warmth while initiating him into magic. She was his true mentor and his greatest benefactor. But simply because he was her pupil, he was framed and rotted in a cell during his very first life. Hanbit recalls, kneeling in absolute despair in a damp dungeon hearing the vitriol. You're nothing but a scavenging dog. For Chibai, I'll bet you didn't learn a thing from that hag except how to steal. Julio had loomed over him with false authority, looking down with pure, unfiltered disdain. Every desperate plea was futile against guards, who gorged on bribes and forged evidence. Hanbit snaps, his focus back, and demands seriously. You stated I'd receive the spellbook upon completing this entire quest chain, right? At that exact moment, the chat is submerged in a wave of mock sympathy. That's actually pathetic. Poor Dark Dragon. Regardless, you're still legally obligated to do that dance. Shake him. For the fans, he continues venting his simmering frustration. What's the final verdict for that thief? Yeon-yu blinks, dropping the harsh reality. Once she's behind bars, she'll never taste freedom again. Hanbit stands motionless, fighting to contain his volcanic rage. Heibbe will also be held criminally liable for your transgressions. As for the fate of the shop, isn't the answer written on the wall? He white-knuckles his fist, seething with primal anger. Julio plasters on a fraudulent grin, his eyes narrowing into slits. As he beckons, so valued patron, what is your ultimate decision? He looks positively triumphant, clapping his hands and barking commands. Hurry up and apprehend that delinquent. Yeon-yu is paralyzed by Hanbit's sudden surge of aggression. Bro, what the hell are you doing? If you demolish the shop like that? Julio hits the panic button when he sees Hanbit ransacking the shelves. Good God, my customer desist. The comments are in a state of absolute hysteria. These two have officially aggroed the entire server's hate. Is he seriously launching a raid in there? Hanbit reaches forward, seizing a satchel, overflowing with valuables. Silence your filthy maw, you godforsaken scam artist. He calmly displays the loot and pierces his opponent with a glacial stare. Didn't you explicitly state that you were robbed? Julio mashes his teeth, directing a venomous gaze toward Hanbit. Quest apprehend the swindler Julio. Reward 500 gold. A barrage of confused messages scrolls by. Wait, so the whole thing was a setup. Did this plot twist seriously just manifest? Give us a Chokin-style GX. His visage flushes crimson with fury as he snarls. You're a perceptive one, aren't you? Before Julio can finish his threat, Hanbit delivers a devastating kick directly to his jaw. I've got nothing to trade with filth like you. Now vanish. He holds a sharp, nonchalant pose as Julio is catapulted backward, his body colliding violently into a corner, cluttered with shattered wooden crates. Yeon-yu covers his mouth, reeling from Hanbit's ruthless actions. My gold? You really should have briefed me on this event, but Dark Dragon kept hammering the point over and over. The problem is, Dark Dragon was the only sane voice in the room. Oh, Julio, did you actually play me for a fool? Man, I need to re-roll my character. What about the dance? Get out of my sight this instant. A squad of soldiers shatters the door open. What is the meaning of this commotion? Hanbit eyes them with cold indifference. It's over. Hanbit's expression turns pensive as he slowly veils his eyes. The interface transitions into a cinematic cutscene. Julio's wrists are bound in coarse rope as he wails in pathetic desperation. I swear I've done nothing wrong. Hanbit watches with total apathy as the guards drag him away. I'm completely innocent. Julio clutches the iron bars, his mouth agape in despair. Hanbit observes him with a frigid, distant gaze. He recalls the nightmare when he was cornered by a forest of spears. The stakes are undeniably different from his past life. Perhaps this is the chasm between a game and a visceral parallel world. In that other life, I had to carve a path through corrupt guards just to hand Julio over to someone. With a shred of honor, Hanbit rests his hands on his knees, exhaling a long sigh of relief. He pivots his focus toward the glowing system board. A cascade of notifications erupts. Quest complete. Next. Quest chain unlocked. Journey to Heibbe's general store. Reward 500 gold. A frantic flurry of messages scrolls past. Please trigger a global reset. Event. That was a total psychological trap. Let me restart, you bastards. Anyone generous enough to spare some? Scrap gold. Hanbit begins to descend into deep thought. Everything feels meticulously orchestrated for this specific pivot. Can I truly dismiss this as a mere stroke of luck? Suddenly, Yeon Yu's eyes bulge in disbelief as he screams into his face. Hyung, explain yourself. His eyebrows arch sharply as he begins, unloading a rapid-fire interrogation. What the hell was that? How did you predict his every move beforehand? Hanbit breaks into a cold sweat, scrambling for a logical explanation. Damn it! What lie can I spin to talk my way out of this? He strokes his chin, submerged in calculation. Even the raw truth would sound like a lunatic's rambling to him. A fabrication will have to suffice shortly. After Hanbit averts his gaze and lets out a boisterous, staged laugh. Ah, well, you see, I'm a chronic obsessive when it comes to fantasy web novels. This entire scenario was a carbon copy of an old, obscure series I binged years ago. I simply played the odds and took a shot in the dark. Perhaps the game's scriptwriter is the same hack. Who penned that novel, the parallels are downright eerie. Yeon Yu claps his hands in epiphany, swallowing the bait without a shred of doubt. Oh, so you're a hardcore lore nerd? That explains everything. Hanbit's lip twitches with a surge of relief. He actually fell for it. Thank God I wasted my enlistment rambling about sci-fi tropes. Abruptly, the digital donation chime echoes. Cha-ching! Yeon Yu's face splits into a predatory grin, instantly switching to his high-energy streamer persona. Huge shout-out for the 10,001 donation. My bro is an absolute monster, isn't he? A lethal combination of survival instinct and genius-level deduction. Did you see that savage strike? Even if Julio were innocent, Ma Hyung would have beaten a confession out of his skull anyway. The chat begins to hemorrhage comments. Okay, he officially has my respect. Mad props, I'm retracting my hate. Besides, Julio has the face of a career criminal. Hanbit tucks his hands behind his back, questioning if the streaming world is always this chaotic. He glances at the ecstatic Yeon Yu, pondering. Whatever, I'll let Yeon Yu orchestrate the show. I'll focus on what I excel at, pure results. Outside, the amber glow of the sun washes over the crystalline sky. If we maintain this heading, we'll hit the shop right. Yeon Yu strides forward with his hands laced behind his head, muttering his thoughts. I'm stunned. Who knew Heibbe was an NPC? Shrouded in hidden lore, the community forums are going to have a meltdown today. Hanbit replies with calculated indifference. Didn't the rumors say that if she's apprehended, she's purged from the server permanently? He suddenly halts, sinking into a grim, silent state of reflection. Just as I've condemned Julio to a dungeon, I suspect countless others did the exact same thing to Heibbe. The silhouette of a quaint two-story dwelling enters Hanbit's peripheral vision. To think such a pivotal NPC was discarded like a common thief by the masses. If Heibbe were aware of this timeline, she'd be drowning in bitterness at the injustice. He thinks with iron resolve. To me, Heibbe was more. The phantom memory of Heibbe flickers within Hanbit's mind. What you've come to pester me with those questions vanish from my sight. She huffs, her irritation flaring as she adds, since you're already here, don't just stand there like a statue. Earn your keep and help me haul these crates. Don't even fantasize about being a lazy parasite under my roof. She stands abruptly, turning to depart. Look at the pathetic state of you. What in the hell have you been doing? I explicitly told you to stay sharp. In this world, if you get broken, you're the only one who bleeds. She thrusts a crimson grimoire embedded with a pulsing soul gem toward him. Dedicate your fleeting spare time to mastering the arcane. Or do you plan on being a manual laborer for eternity? After that, Heibbe falls into a haunting silence, staring through the frigid iron bars. She remains motionless, barking an order with lethal gravity. Keep your chin up. To Yeon Yu offers a soft, surprisingly genuine smile. I know for a fact none of this was your doing, understand? Stop the trembling and just wait right there. Because there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that I'm letting that treacherous bastard walk free. Hanbit watches the spectral image of the incinerated prison dance within his pupils. After uttering those haunting final words, she was ultimately consumed by the flames. He grips the doorknob until his knuckles whiten. Heibbe is a ghost that is both sacred and agonizing to him. Hanbit stands in heavy silence, his expression deeply pensive. A heartbeat later, he slowly pushes the door open. Hanbit remains rooted to the spot, unable to fathom his own eyes. Heibbe, inside the workshop, is Heibbe, looking utterly bored with her chin propped on her palm. She shifts her gaze toward the creek. Heibbe looks bewildered when she finds Hanbit staring directly at her. What do you want? I don't recognize your face. She leans forward, probing suspiciously. Did you track me down because you already know my reputation? Hanbit offers a gentle smile, his tone laced with a trace of mischief. You can clearly see I'm a novice, so this is undeniably our first encounter. I've come here because I truly desire to master the arcane arts under you. Heibbe slowly prowls toward him. Master magic under me. She stands with hands on hips, piercing Hanbit's soul with her gaze. You're a peculiar kid, but Why should I mentor a complete stranger I just met 5 seconds ago? The corners of his mouth curl into a smirk. He anticipated her refusal, but he already has. A master key ready thanks to the chaos from earlier. A torrent of messages screams across the interface. Wait, that's my top tier waifu. Bro just threw his own wife into a dungeon, lol. That is pure, unmitigated, chaotic evil. Heap scrutinizes Hanbit with intense focus, hesitating before blurted out, wait a minute, you... She jabs a finger at Hanbit, her realization sparking. I recognize that look now. You must be... the Dark Dragon, aren't you? Hanbit watches as Heibbe exhales a weary, heavy sigh. That's right. That old vulture Julio clearly plotted to frame you as a common thief. She recovers her poised composure, her lips curling into a faint, helpless smile. Honestly, the man is nothing but human garbage. I knew he'd ignite a disaster sooner or later. She momentarily veils her eyes, running a hand through her hair to signal her gratitude. Regardless, I owe you a debt of thanks. She cheerfully extends her palm to Hanbit. If it weren't for your intervention, I'd be drowning in a catastrophic mess right now. He clasps Heibbe's hand, responding with practiced poise. Think nothing of it. I found that man's existence repulsive myself. She leans perilously close to Hanbit and whispers, I mean, one glimpse of his face is enough to know you shouldn't place an ounce of trust in him. He completely concurs. Precisely. His face has the word scammer engraved into it. The chat erupts. Julio just suffered an absolute legendary L. Nothing legendary about it. That's just basic common sense. She abruptly snaps back into a professional stance, leaning against the table to probe. So, you mentioned you were hunting for a grimoire. But concerning that, hold on. Heibbe scowls, her features clouded by confusion. Hanbit crosses his arms and drops a bombshell question. Are you actually searching for a remedy? For a specific plague? Heibbe is visibly shaken, asking tentatively, how did you uncover that? He gestures toward the scattered manuscripts on the desk. One glance at the research on your table is enough to decode the mystery. Hanbit extends an offer. I'll lend you my aid. Her entire aura turns somber as she nervously bites her lip. Heibbe locks eyes with Hanbit, demanding, do you truly possess that level of medical expertise? He replies with absolute confidence, I understand it better than anyone in this world. Heibbe remains understandably skeptical of Hanbit's audacious claim. Quite the arrogant one, aren't we? Fine, let's play. The image of her own unearthly eyes flashes in her mind. Are you aware of any affliction that turns the pupils sapphire blue, accompanied by chronic vertigo and nausea? Hanbit answers bluntly, I don't know the clinical name of that particular curse. He thinks to himself, I expected this reaction. Heibbe's entire frame shudders as she clenches her fist in a surge of anger. Do you have any idea how many times I've been manipulated already? She imagines her dignity was seized by 1,000 faceless, avaricious hands. Those self-proclaimed renowned specialists proved to be nothing more than charlatans in the end. I've hemorrhaged a fortune and wasted precious years on their fraudulent diagnoses, only to fatten their greedy pockets. Heibbe's eyes smolder with an ocean of bitter disappointment. I've lost count of how many times a glimmer of hope has fermented into lethal poison. Suddenly, Hanbit interjects, slicing through her spiral of despair. High tier, recovery, and holy magic are completely ineffective. Correct, and the patient has lost all sense of hunger. Heibbe lunges forward, her trembling hands reaching for him in desperation. Do you truly comprehend the nature of this horrific malady? Hanbit steadies her arms and declares, it doesn't actually possess a name. I simply possess the knowledge to eradicate it. Heibbe clutches his collar, screaming in sheer disbelief. What? You actually hold the cure in your hands. She gazes at Hanbit with raw, pleading eyes. Please, I implore you to save her. I'll offer you a reward beyond your wildest dreams. He offers a tranquil smile and reassures her, have faith, I will return with the antidote. Without fail. Abruptly, a system notification erupts. New quest. You have unraveled Heibbe's hidden anguish. Discover the panacea for the terminal illness her mother is currently enduring. Objective, secure the specialized medicine within the Allen territory. Reward 2,000 gold, hero grade. Heibbe's signature fireball. Grimoire 3 stat points 500. EXP. Incredulous comments. Streak. Last. Hero grade loot already. Is this a scripted guaranteed drop or what? This is peak insanity. Julio, you absolute bottom-feeding scumbag. In the center of the bustling street, Yun Yu asks in a daze, Bro, where do we even begin our search? Hanbit plants his hands on his hips and calmly retorts, well, suddenly a stabbing agony pierces his chest, constricting his very breath. Yun Yu witnesses the spasm and panics. What's the matter? Are you suffering a system glitch? Hanbit's entire avatar begins to flicker out of existence. No, The matriarch has arrived. In a heartbeat, the road is occupied by only a bewildered Yeonyu. He stands there catatonic, unable to process the sudden vanishing act. After a long pause, Yeonyu finally snaps back to reality and bellows, Hanbit! Hanbit is drenched in a cold sweat, struggling to maintain a mask of innocence. Mom, I'm back. I was just preoccupied with something monumentally important. Saijin scrutinizes him, radiating a dark, ominous aura. She erupts in a volcanic fury, pummeling Hanbit relentlessly. You little brat. How dare you have the audacity to lock your door from the inside? Mom, mercy. He stays rooted and endures the onslaught, shouting, I've never done it before today. Hanbit gestures toward the sleek black device to deflect her wrath. You remember? Yeonyu, right? He gave me a discharge gift, so I was just testing the hardware. He flails his limbs in a frantic, clumsy dance, adding, he insisted we dive into some games together since I just finished my mandatory service. Saijin asks, that thing they call a recording? Or whatever. Correct. Hanbit forces a pained smile while hauling the groceries. How are you so well informed? She pivots and demands he surrender his pack so she can stow it. The news cycle is obsessed with it. Just don't let it rot your brain for too long. Hanbit scowls. Defending his hobby, I only intend to indulge during my downtime. Besides, my professional internship commences tomorrow. Saijin stares at him stunned. Internship? You actually went through with that decision? Hanbit desperately counters, I need at least one respectable line of experience on my resume. Before he can finish, Sijin resumes her rapid-fire assault. Look at you always making executive decisions, without uttering a single word. To your own mother. She raises a fist, poised for a final strike. Seriously, what goes through your head? In that split second, Hanbit uses his forearm to parry. Total defense C. But his defense crumbled instantly before Sijin delivered a stinging slap to his face. Block what Yushi, thundered her voice, shaking the very foundations of the house. What kind of parent relentlessly pressures their child to slave away at a job the literal second they are discharged, and to top it off, you're starting at the crack of dawn tomorrow? Hanbit clutches his throbbing eye, musing that this maternal wrath is deadlier than facing off against a legendary martial arts grandmaster. His face is burning a bright, humiliated crimson. But Mom, the upcoming semester is my final hurdle. Before I hit graduation, I have to secure a career path immediately. Sijin lets out a heavy, weary sigh of defeat. As she retreats, she throws a final warning over her shoulder. You said the firm is in Seongno. You'd better be up before the sun then. Saijin's voice softens with maternal concern. No matter how frantic your schedule gets, skipping breakfast is a cardinal sin. Don't think for a second I didn't notice you. Starved yourself today. Hanbit timidly mumbles, Yeon-u treated me to chocolate ice cream. Are you hiding behind that pathetic excuse again? She snaps back, her scream echoing his name through the halls. Hanbit beats a hasty retreat. I'm locking myself in my room now. Good night, Mom. He collapses onto his mattress with a soul-weary sigh. Good grief. My mother is a force of nature. Hanbit glances at the ticking wall clock. Oh crap, I'm still broadcasting live. Anyway, since tomorrow marks my debut as an intern, I need to hit the sack. I feel genuinely bad for leaving Yeonyu hanging. He jumps, in shock at the sight of the live chat, bombarding the screen like a missile strike. Yo, I just sprinted over here after hearing the massive rumors. Is this the legendary explosion moment? Is this legit? Heibbe is unquestionably my wife who got it. Listen up, devs. We demand compensation rewards immediately. Leak the walkthrough already. What in the world? What's the deal with this stream? Is this the viral broadcast everyone's losing their minds over? Literally nobody suspected Julio was a bottom-feeding scammer. A new trending post with astronomical views pops up. Hidden skill and hero rank quest unearthed. An anonymous user sneers at the situation in the thread. Some delusional rookie just spawned out of nowhere. This guy is a walking system anomaly. He's triggered dozens of rare recommended skills and even a handful of hidden ones. The quest with a guaranteed hero tier payout is the secret path to obtain fire magic from Heibbe. Just look at the proof. Leaked screenshot of the mission reward screen is attached. Hero rank fireball spellbook, market value 2,000 gold. Bonus stat points 3, EXP 500. The original poster adds a final recommendation if you're curious for more raid alofals. Stream. It's pure comedy gold. Ziha, visibly irritated, scrolls through the toxic comment section. This isn't amusing in the slightest. He leans back, his eyes glued to the glowing tablet. Who would actually fall for such blatant clickbait? Jae-hi scowls in utter confusion. Why is the community making such a fuss over one fluke hidden skill trigger? He sneers at the viral post. The desperate streamers will do anything for 5 minutes of fame. Zihe casually kicks his feet up on the desk. Even if I go hunting for it, I'll likely only find trash mobs. His eyes narrow with a sharp calculating determination. Guess I'll have to personally verify the validity of this so-called news. On a pitch black screen where nothing is visible, Yan Yu fidgets, poking his fingers together in a nervous habit. He hesitantly opens his mouth to speak. What I was trying to say was a flurry of toxic messages flashes across the feed, spamming low. What's his play looking? At that intel, what the hell is low? Start. Throwing hands, fight, fight. Is this just bait? Yan Yu flustered tries to de-escalate the chaotic situation. First of all, everyone needs to take a deep breath. 2 comments, dripping with skepticism, appear. How old is your friend exactly? If he's that much of a mama's boy, is he seriously just a middle schooler? He breaks into a frantic cold sweat, letting out a hollow forced laugh. Dark Dragon wheeze. Both survived our mandatory military service. He's just a remarkably filial son to his mother. To be perfectly clear, I'm actually his military superior. For the record, Yan Yu suddenly pivots, jolting in pure shock as he witnesses the viewer count hitting the stratosphere. In a total panic, Yan Yu gnaws his nail and stammers, "Why is the viewership exploding like a supernova?" Trolling comment streaks across the feed. Do a K-pop girl group dance cover right now. Where did the Dark Dragon vanish to? He can't stop his frantic rambling. What the hell is actually happening to my stream? Yan Yu's face twitches from the absolute sensory overload. Wait, what a thread about our play was just pinned to the LPG forums. As the wave of trolling intensifies, his brain short circuits. This is legendary. He muses internally. Dark Dragon. Instead of ghosting, I'll leave a cryptic breadcrumb for them. Suddenly, a private message materializes on Yan Yu's system. HUD from Dark Dragon. Apologies for the early exit. Tomorrow is my professional debut, so I have to cut it here. He pouts his expression, betraying clear anxiety as the chaotic text scrolls relentlessly. As compensation, I'll provide a crucial hint. Yan Yu sinks into deep contemplation while navigating the UI. Then, he plasters on a forced smile for the camera. All right, listen up, since my partner had to log off for urgent personal matters. He bequeathed a parting gift. I'm not even sure if I should leak this. A tidal wave of ravenous comments surges by. Spill it. Let us see the goods. Reveal it already, please. I'm dying of pure curiosity over here. Show us. This instant, a final ping is sent. From Dark Dragon, it's all right here. Pale morning light filters through, the towering skyscrapers drenching the city in warmth. Hanbit clutches his phone, muttering a quiet oath. Time to give it my all today. Then, he gazes up at the imposing structure looming before him. Kang Han Lee. The nameplate on the office door reads On Tech Lab 4. Hanbit tentatively pokes his head inside and announces himself. Greetings, I'm the new intern. Starting my tenure today. He stares blankly at the frenetic, chaotic scene within. The staff are vibrating with stress. Who trespassed into the lab without authorization yesterday? The critical revisions haven't been integrated. Yet verify the code now. A man suddenly snaps his attention toward Hanbit. Joe slams a dossier onto his shoulder and grumbles, "What, the intern actually crawled in today? What the hell is HR even thinking?" Someone immediately barks back, "I notified you idiots yesterday." His eyes narrow in sharp annoyance. Joe clicks his tongue and dismisses him with a wave. "Hey, Lee Minho, take this rookie and get the briefing room ready." Minho stands at attention. "On it, sir." He approaches Hanbit. "The name's Lee. Minho. If you're confused, just come to me." Then Minho strides past him. "Ditch your gear and keep up. I'll show you your station and we'll process your contract at a later time." Gesturing toward the board, he requests, "Before we start, could you scrub this whiteboard clean?" For me, Hanbit complies. Instantly. "Yes, sir, I'm on it." He grabs the eraser and meticulously wipes away the ink stains. Sung Min, gripping a coffee cup, kicks the door open. "What the hell? Why are there 2 bodies in here today?" He eyes Hanbit with blatant suspicion. "And who the hell are you?" Minho bows respectfully and clarifies, "Good morning, team leader. This is the intern whose arrival I reported to you earlier this week." Hanbit greets him with a stunned expression. In a flash, Hanbit drops into a perfect 90-degree bow. "I'm eager to absorb as much knowledge as possible during this internship." The man brushes past Hanbit with cold indifference, leaving a warning, "Don't overdo it. Just execute your orders." Sung Min pauses and glances back with a sharp eye. "If you're finished cleaning, make yourself scarce." Hearing this, Hanbit opens the door and dejectedly retreats. He lets out a heavy hollow sigh, thinking, "I can already see the bleak future of this company. Regardless, this is likely for the best. I should concentrate on self-study and absorbing knowledge while I'm stationed here." When you think about it, This reality is a paradise compared to the struggle in that hellish parallel world. Hanbit's flickering form finally stabilizes and materializes. Wearily massaging his neck, he mutters, "I'm back. Apologies for neglecting the chat and your messages. My debut day at the office was absolute unadulterated chaos." Yeon Yu gazes at Hanbit with starstruck adoration. "It's perfectly fine." Hanbit recoils at Yeon Yu's bizarre energy. What is the meaning of that hideous expression? Yeon Yu smirks playfully and asks, in a flirtatious lilt, "Is there something wrong with my face?" Hanbit bluntly retorts, "It looks like it's actively decomposing." He freezes in sheer disbelief. After hearing Yeon Yu's metrics update, "We've officially hit the motherlode. Check the live viewer count. We've already eclipsed 5,000 concurrents." He happily shrugs and beckons Hanbit to engage with the growing mob. "Listen up, everyone. We are officially commencing the legendary Heibbe questline right now." Hanbit plants his hands on his hips and asks Yeon Yu, "Has anyone managed to clear it yet?" He flashes a hyped thumbs up and scoffs, "Not a soul, nobody, has been able to pull it off so far." The chat erupts. Is he actually laughing? He looks way too smug right now. "Quit stalling and show us the goods." Is this even mechanically possible? If this is a scam, you know the consequences, right? Hanbit tilts his head with a mocking sneer. "You people truly suffer from a lack of imagination." Skeptical barbs. Scroll past, he's clearly triggered. Look at him shaking. He smirks and doubles down. "You guys really need to cultivate some creativity." A series of rapid-fire texts appear. "It seems you lot have forgotten exactly who you're dealing with. I was only playing passive because I required a comprehensive strategy." Hanbit strides forward with absolute authority. "Fine, I'll demonstrate the solution myself. Try your best to keep up. Everyone, step 1, make your way to the main city gates." Yeon Yu keeps pace, radiating skepticism. "Are you certain? You're just a rookie. You still owe the fans a legitimate explanation." He stammers out a deflection. "I already told you. I've devoured an unholy amount of fantasy novels." Hanbit pauses and dismissively waves his hand. "I simply deduced that in a sandbox with this much freedom. Literally anything is within the realm of possibility." Suddenly, a grating, annoyed voice cuts through the air. "Hey, I bet that's all garbage talk. Just trust the guy for a minute. We're only killing time here." Anyway, Hanbit surveys the massive crowd gathered ahead, confused. "What's the occasion? Why is there a mob forming here?" Yeon Yu speculates. "I'd bet they're the vultures who saw the leak on the community forums." A thunderous announcement grabs Hanbit's attention. It's the Vanguard squad. The actual Vanguard squad has arrived. He raises an eyebrow, echoing the name in his mind. Vanguard squad. Just then, Taemin's elite crew marches forward with aggressive swagger. The chat goes nuclear as Taemin's unit comes into view. "Whoa! Are those actually the Vanguards? I can't believe the Vanguard elites actually showed up here in the flesh. This is becoming an event." They've even fielded a high-tier archer in their comp. That guy, dead center. Is he really an archer, judging by that legendary bow? It has to be them. Did they seriously trek across the map just for the Heibbe quest? The potential payout is hero-grade equipment, so it's unquestionably worth the travel time. Yeon Yu leans in toward Hanbit and whispers, "Man, it's the real deal. It seems the intel you uncovered spread like wildfire." His eyes remain locked on Taemin's squad as he inquires, "But what in the world is a Vanguard squad exactly?" Yeon Yu snaps back in shock. "Are you seriously claiming you've never heard of them? Would you like me to continue editing the next set of lines for this recap?" He scrutinizes Taemin, the loudmouth with the obnoxious blonde hair. "Exactly, since you're essentially a clueless greenhorn." Yeon Yu then gestures toward the archer and the brunette, explaining that the elite players ranked in the top 10,000 globally are known as the Vanguard squad. He then glances at the other two powerhouses and adds, "The system ranks them by calculating level, skill, proficiency, and main story milestones into comprehensive points." Hearing this, Hanbit fires off a barrage of questions. Out of 300 million players across the globe, only 10,000 made the cut. And in the entire Korean server, there are only 500. Even those top-tier monsters haven't mastered magic yet. Looking closely, it seems there's a player who resembles a high-level mage in the group. Yeon Yu tilts his head and clarifies most of them bypass magic because grinding spell proficiency is a literal nightmare. They prioritize raw power scaling. Instead, people usually just equip mage cosmetics because they look intimidating. His gaze locks onto the golden bird bow strapped to the archer's back. A vivid image of that weapon flashes in Hanbit's mind. That's the golden bird bow. I still remember its specs clearly. It's the masterpiece of a legendary artisan. Standing amidst the surging crowd, he asks in a low voice, wait, even those elites failed to conquer the Heibbe questline. Yeonyu shares the inside scoop with Hanbit. Most Vanguard members are bankrolled by massive multinational corporations. He gasps in sheer disbelief. Corporations. Yeonyu imagines a sea of desperate hands reaching toward the light. They receive full corporate sponsorship to dominate these high-stakes roles. Even if you ignore the legal battles over game ownership, the revenue generated from these role-playing sessions is astronomically high. Suddenly a firm finger pokes Hanbit's shoulder. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Na-eun seems to recognize his avatar and leans in closer to probe. You're Dark Dragon, aren't you? You're broadcasting live right now, aren't you? When exactly are you going to show us the quest? Completion. Hanbit replies with a blank stare. I was planning to initiate it this very second, but Du suddenly cuts in, barking. I'm telling you, this entire situation is an absolute orchestrated scam. Na-eun scowls and snaps back. Why can't you trust my instincts? For once, instead of making such a pathetic scene, he bellows back. In a fury, you idiot. The last time you trusted a swindler, you got looted to the bone and were left standing in nothing but your pixelated undies. Na-eun is so mortified. She lashes out at Yeonyu. Shut your trap, you absolute jerk. Ignoring the petty drama, Hanbit proposes, first we navigate toward the shoreline. Yeonyu asks in utter confusion, isn't the slime bomb hidden deep in the dark forest over there? Hanbit turns his head with a cunning smirk and declares, I require a fishing rod to synthesize the antidote. A row of fish icons materializes above his head. A fishing rod. Bewildered comments erupt in the chat. Why? The sudden detour for a life skill. This is so bizarre, but the leak mentioned a slime bomb. Do we seriously need to go fishing too? This is totally beyond any logic. I don't have a single clue where he's going with this. Yeonyu looks up as a series of glowing coin icons rain down. A viewer just donated 1,001. The price of fish at Ellen Beach is hitting the moon, damn it. Toxic comments. Flash, look at these market manipulators. They're clearly sniping Lufa's stream and acting in real time. Pathetic. Disgusting. This community is the absolute worst. Go bald, you vultures. Hanbit rests his hand on his chin and grins wickedly. They have absolutely no idea. Yeonyu spins to face him, demanding a straight answer. Seriously? Why do you need a fishing rod? Is the catalyst buried under the ocean floor? Hanbit gives a cryptic, chilling reply. Well, who truly knows? Yeonyu breaks down and clings to his leg, wailing in frustration. Well, who truly knows? Right, Yeonyu was sobbing and hugging his legs, wailing like a child, screaming, you're not pulling my leg about this, right? Because if this is a prank, my streaming career is officially deceased. Hanbit stands there stunned by his partner's over-the-top dramatics. Relax, it'll be fine. A landslide of skeptical messages floods the chat. Is this just an elaborate troll? LMAO. Lufa's career is on life support. Easiest way to witness a top streamer's total downfall. Hanbit meets Yeonyu's gaze with a dead serious look. Have some faith. First, I need a high-quality fishing rod, so front me 70,000 gold. He watches Hanbit with a bewildered expression like a confused puppy, tracking his every movement. Look at him go. This is pure comedy gold. The sky gradually bleeds into a deep bruised orange. The gathering crowd whispers frantically amongst themselves. Under the amber-tinted heavens, the mob buzzes with electric anticipation. Hanbit stands atop the bridge scowling as he surveys the horizon. Why does it feel like this audience is multiplying by the second? He wipes a hand across his forehead and remarks dismissively, I'll reimburse the gold soon. So wipe that panicked look off your face. Yeonyu helplessly averts his gaze and retorts, it's because we are completely in the dark about your grand plan with the fishing rod. At this point, you don't even have to pay me back. Suddenly, the silhouette of an old man patiently fishing comes into view. That's Edo. If you angle next to him, your internal affinity points skyrocket, though I heard his hearing is absolutely shot. Hanbit approaches the veteran and bows. Greetings, old-timer. He flashes a charming grin and brandishes the fishing rod in his hand. I'm in the market for this rod. Edo slowly pivots, his head looking dazed. Did someone say something? Hanbit leans in mischievously toward his ear. Gramps, I know you can hear me perfectly. I'll offer you 50,000 gold. Mocking comment appears Dark Dragon. Even in a virtual world, show some respect for your elders. Edo lowers, his head appearing deep in thought. Then he coldly dictates his non-negotiable price. Don't even try to lowball me. 100,000 gold. A barrage of frantic messages erupts. Look at this greedy geezer. Hanbit ignores the noise and extends his hand to finalize the deal. Fine, let's settle. At 60,000 gold. He thinks to himself, This old stubborn goat never changes. Edo bellows. Furiously, 60,000 gold is less than my original cost. You little delinquent. 90,000 gold or walk away. Hanbit slashes the price again. In that case, let's call it 50,000. Edo is seething at his sheer audacity. Are you trying to swindle an old man? You little demon. Hanbit happily absorbs. The verbal abuse reminds me of the good old days we spent fishing together. Edo's eyebrows twitch as he waves a dismissive hand in defeat. You clever little brat. Fine, do whatever you want. He brandishes the rod, cheering massive profit. Much appreciated, Gramps. Teasing comments dripping with shock. Surface. What a ruthless piece of trash. Dark Dragon really honors his elders. Did you seriously just hustle 1,000 gold out of Lufa? Edo witnesses Hanbit's smugness and snaps, take the damn thing and vanish. Yan Yu closes his eyes, offering a weary assessment. I feel like being a chaotic streamer is just second nature to you. He asks in genuine confusion, why's that Yan Yu tracks every single move Hanbit makes, adding, starting with your claim that you'd clear an area infested with slime bombs, using nothing but a simple fishing rod. A comment scrolls past. He's got the chaotic energy of a total jester. I'm about to show you all something legendary. While angling with Lufa using his new prize, he excitedly raises an index finger and suggests, how about we initiate an RP session? Yan Yu squints, looking repulsed. I don't know what that entails, but I already hate it. Countless laughing messages flood the screen. RP, more like RIP, this stream is absolutely cooked. A curious comment appears, I'm a total newbie. What kind of nightmare is a slime bomb? Yan Yu points toward the volatile creatures and explains slime bombs are hypersensitive, one wrong touch, and a massive explosion will vaporize you. Then Yan Yu snatches up a jagged rock and hurls it at a slime bomb. They detonate, instantly painting the sky in fire. He stands agape, completely paralyzed by their sheer volatile power. Maintaining a safe distance, Yan Yu watches the slime bombs with intense focus. Even if you just graze their surface, he stares listlessly at the carnage unfolding before his eyes. They simply vanish in an explosion. Yan Yu and Hanbit both scan the horizon, and when they blow, they don't yield. A single scrap of loot, absolute garbage. How are we supposed to conquer such a useless mob using nothing but a fishing rod? Only Hanbit holds the key to that mystery. Taking a deliberate step forward, Hanbit kneels and uses the rod to probe the space near a slime bomb. Found it. This angle is perfect. Hanbit begins to spin the reel with cold calculation. The rod's in-game sensitivity is a different beast from reality. I need to calibrate my senses. First, he locks his sights on a slime bomb. Yan Yu suddenly snaps his head back and hisses, Hanbit. He whispers anxiously, I'm certain someone is tailing us. The system interface flashes, shameless. Vultures are lurking in your shadow. Hanbit narrows, his eyes submerged in thought. I figured as much. He catches a suspicious rustle in the nearby thicket. They've been stalking us from a distance ever since we crossed the city gates. Yan Yu imagines countless predatory eyes burning into their backs. And it's not just one pack, several different groups are closing in. He gestures toward the glowing blue screen. Can you bypass the display settings? For me, Hanbit immediately responds, on it. Yan Yu's lips curl into a menacing smirk. Listen up, everyone, I'm truly sorry, but the system interface begins to morph. Just for a second, he narrows, his gaze, his tone dripping with mystery. There will be a brief recalibration of the interface. A deluge of question mark comments floods the chat. What's the play? Hanbit asks with an amused glint. Why don't we toy with these rats for a bit? Yan Yu confesses a deep truth. I've been obsessed with these fantasy realms since I was a boy. It's practically etched into my soul. It was a passion he couldn't share. During his military service, not a single soul in the unit shared his eccentric hobby. Yan Yu found everyday life agonizingly dull. To kill time and escape the boredom, I devoured ancient volumes until the pages turned to dust. He had anticipated this moment for an eternity, until a new recruit was assigned to our unit. Yan Yu incessantly initiated dialogues with the soldier. Hey rookie, have you ever delved into this novel? He taps a specific passage. I've read it. I was especially captivated by this scene. It's masterfully written. He was floored by the interpretation. Even though I had pored over that text dozens of times, that newbie still unearthed fascinating nuances I had completely overlooked. Yan Yu finally mustered the courage to speak. You know, his eyes shimmered with raw admiration. You're truly incredible. It's as if you've actually stepped foot into the world within these pages. Yan Yu reclaimed his usual swagger as the hours slipped away. Experience a world more vivid than reality itself. The moment he saw the teaser For the RP game post-discharge, he instantly saw the potential. He dreamed of a partnership with Hanbit. If I can conquer this game with that, Guy will forge a legend the world has never seen. Yeon-woo whispers to him under his breath. Right now, only my screen is being broadcasted. Hanbit remains locked in, eyes fixed on the target. Understood, he thinks. For now, let's just play the part of being occupied with these slime bombs. He cheerfully addresses the audience. All right, while Dark Dragon finishes the screen calibration. Everyone make sure to smash that follow button. Snap to it, but it's obvious the entire world is tuning in solely to witness Hanbit's brilliance. Move aside, scrub, seriously. What is Dark Dragon doing if you don't shift? Your massive head, I'm unsubscribing this instant. He understands that frustration more intimately than anyone. Just spectating from Yeon-woo's restricted perspective is an exercise in pure irritation. Hanbit already deduced the situation from the reaction. He's likely gripped by the fear that looming rivals will overtake them shortly. Without even glancing back, he can sense the mounting tension of the fray. The lethal glares exchanged between the predatory groups, stalking their every move, won't remain dormant for much longer. If this volatile and suffocating standoff persists, deliberate footsteps crunch against the dried grass. Hanbit pivots to identify the intruder. He's all too familiar with these reckless, impulsive fools. There are always impatient players who strike before they even engage their brains. Hanbit reaches out and taps the glowing live stream interface. The entire audience is jolted by his sudden close-up appearance. The feed is back. Why is he suddenly greeting us so bizarre? Hanbit tightens his grip on the fishing rod and with a decisive snap swings the hook toward the volatile slime bombs. Hanbit always calculates his maneuvers with surgical precision. There is a strategic reason he acquired this specific rod from the old artisan Ito. He deconstructs its utility down to the finest detail. This hook possesses a specialized stealthy feature. First and foremost, the barb is impossibly sharp, ensuring the slime bombs don't even register its presence or trigger a premature detonation. Hanbit meticulously executes the plan, and when I trigger this mechanism right here, he navigates the process with expert familiarity. Lethal spikes instantaneously erupt from the hidden core of the hook. Hanbit doesn't need to confront them in a suicidal charge to clear the slime bombs. He can orchestrate the chain reaction from total safety. He shifts his gaze further out, next to slimes, caught in the radius of the blast suddenly plummet to the earth like pathetic quivering jelly. Two players lapse into a panic when they discover a slime bomb nestled at their feet. Taemin bellows a desperate warning to his squad to fall back. Damn it, evacuate now. The tree line is shuddering violently, seizing his full attention. Taemin never anticipated there would be such an overwhelming swarm. The slimes are raining down, run, everyone scatter. A rogue slime bomb lands directly in his path by sheer accident. Crap, Hanbit nonchalantly rests the rod on his shoulder while Yeon-woo is paralyzed by the impending blast. He's immensely proud of that tactical play, and that, my friends, is how you handle pathetic stream snipers. The viewers can't believe the absolute audacity they're witnessing. Is this guy a god? He's completely unhinged. As it turns out, he was systematically weeding out the genuine audience from the parasitic snipers. That earlier greeting was a masterfully laid trap. Hanbit isn't finished yet. Now let's get down to actual business, but the chat is erupting with confused inquiries. Didn't the entire pack of slimes just get vaporized? Sharp-eyed spectators notice a glaring anomaly. What is that thing? Its hue is completely different. A rare dud slime was snagged by his hook. Hanbit effortlessly hoists it from the dirt. He secures the dud slime into a heavy cloth bag and flaunts his prized haul to the camera. All right, the essential materials are secured. The community is scrambling to decode the mysteries. Why is this particular one so massive? Is it a rare drop or a system glitch? Looking at that distinct color palette, there has to be a hidden mechanic behind it. He promptly provides the high-level intel. In reality, it truly is a dud variant. If you annihilate an entire colony of slime bombs, simultaneously, there is a fixed probability for the lone survivors to mutate into dud slimes. Yeon-woo is fascinated by the unorthodox method. Wait, so this is the secret to cheesing the quest. If that's all it takes, every player will just mirror your strategy. Hanbit doesn't lose his cool. I'm merely providing a masterclass, so everyone can finally clear this quest. He eyes the dud slime in his satchel and lets out a triumphant, knowing smirk. Regardless, those complex controls won't be mastered easily. Move it. Let's rendezvous with Heibbe. A weary sigh dissipates into the twilight air. Ja is drenched in a cold sweat. After his narrow escape, that was far too close for comfort. Kimmy A, an RP strategist from a low-tier gold farming syndicate, sensed an overwhelming pressure radiating from Hanbit. That player Dark Dragon? He is unquestionably no. Run-of-the-mill amateur. Zha concludes he isn't just a lucky fluke, but a seasoned professional. There must be a titan, corporation bankrolling. Him a power, his own meager workplace. Can't even hope to rival. He's utterly confounded by Hanbit's erratic, unorthodox strategy. I truly cannot fathom his play. Why on earth would he affiliate himself with a bottom-feeding streamer like that? Zha can only formulate a vague hypothesis. Perhaps he's acting as high-profile bait to divert attention and camouflage. Whatever the Vanguard squad has unearthed, he has no luxury to overanalyze. No matter the cost, he must secure the Heibbe quest. Zha pushes himself to exceed his limits. If I can just solo this legendary quest, I'll shatter my performance quota for the entire month. It appears he simply isn't hardwired for the nuances of role-playing games. However, Kim Mi-ae's incantation failed catastrophically. Heibbe is already radiating pure malice. What the hell is this garbage you've brought me? She cannot even begin to grasp Hanbit's twisted logic. You actually dare to present this filth and label it a cure, the viewers. Uncertain of the outcome post like armchair experts. Is that lethal poison? It definitely looks the part. He's still skeptical of the developer's intended rating. Is the situation really that dire? She can only exhale a breath of pure exasperation. Heibbe refuses to even acknowledge his presence anymore. I'll settle Julio's debt in raw gold. Now get lost. Hanbit playfully provokes her. It seems you haven't tasted true desperation yet, have you? That cryptic biting remark causes Heibbe to snap. She shrieks at him to discharge her bottled-up fury. How dare you spout such arrogance when you're completely ignorant? Before Heibbe can even mount a defense, he shoves a massive glob of dud slime into her mouth. She reflexively gulps it down. Heibbe is paralyzed by Hanbit's suspicious maneuver. Yeon Yu feels like he's becoming a complete liability. What a pathetic loser. The chat joins the relentless roasting. Lufa's expression is hilariously transparent. You can read the sheer horror in her eyes. She's definitely thinking, Dark Dragon is a straight-up psychopath. Now she finally comprehends the gravity of this situation. Did you just force-feed me that abominable thing? Heibbe covers her mouth, struggling to suppress the urge to vomit. Hanbit anticipated exactly this reaction. The catalyst kicks in with lethal speed. Yeon Yu can't help but panic. She's dry heaving. Uncontrollably, suddenly the bathroom door is kicked open. Heibbe unleashes a torrent of profanity. You bastard! What do you think you're playing at? She is seething with rage, yet utterly drained. Hanbit maintains a disturbingly bright smile. It looks like a parasitic seed. Just got expelled. Doesn't it? He force-fed her the dud slime? For her own survival. That was the source of the rot. Hanbit delivers. A flawless diagnosis through keen observation. That is the true origin of the plague. Both you and your mother are rotting from. Heibbe is stunned. What are you implying? Hanbit went to extreme lengths to assist her. I'm being dead serious. What you just purged is the root of all your misery. He is clearly a man who possesses absolute self-conviction. You've been failing too, haven't you? I knew the instant I laid eyes on you. Hanbit sees through her facade. She's been enduring this agony in silence because she didn't want her ailing mother suffer more. There is no secret he cannot unearth. And he also suspected that bottom feeder Julio would manipulate and blackmail her. She desperately hopes Hanbit can shatter her doubts. How could you possibly fathom all of this? Hanbit merely reflects on the selfless motives behind her actions. He couldn't bring himself to label her foolish. He possesses absolute knowledge on the lethal toxin she ingested. It's actually a parasitic seed that gestates in the southern regions. It latches to the stomach lining and begins festering from within. Hanbit explains the biology so Heibbe understands. There's a high probability she was contaminated while consuming imported delicacies from that territory, and the viscous fluid of a slime bomb is the sole catalyst that can purge it. That's the precise reason he hunted down the dud slimes. We required a defective specimen, a rare mutation of a slime bomb that has forfeited its ability to self-destruct. Hanbit deconstructs its properties. When it no longer harbors its explosive essence, it only secretes mucus and a potent toxin that triggers a violent vomiting reflex. He knows with terrifying certainty how dangerous it truly was. Once she expels that parasitic seed, out she'll be fully liberated. From the onset, this was never a conventional malady. He gestures toward the dish of dud slimes on the table. Just purge it, right? Hanbit radiates absolute confidence in his unorthodox cure. Once you evict that parasite from your system, you won't require another drop of medicine. He entrusts the final treatment to her. Go on, verify your mother's vital signs. Hanbit doesn't dare wear his heart on his sleeve. Even though this is a simulated world, he deeply treasures Ella's presence, her noble spirit hasn't wavered an inch. Only Hanbit understands her better than any living soul. This selfless girl always prioritizes others' agony over her own. He's moved that Heibbe stood as a shield against the villains. Though her temperament is somewhat abrasive, she has always remained by his side as a pillar of support. Hanbit prays with fervent hope. It manifests in reality. I truly hope you discover true happiness for yourself. The system updates the narrative. Commencing hidden cutscene, she resolves to carry the platter of dud slimes to her mother. Mom, I've brought the cure. Heibbe executes his instructions perfectly. Mother, you only need to ingest a small dose. She gently assists her mother up and offers a spoonful of the viscous liquid. Heibbe scrutinizes her mother's features intently. She doesn't divert her gaze for even a fraction of a second. Heibbe is horrified by the visceral, terrifying result. Her mother retched. Gargantuan seeds keep spilling out in a grotesque sequence. It's sheer insanity. I can't believe those fraudulent doctors swindled us out of a small fortune. She swears a silent oath to exact vengeance on the villains. They're dead men. I won't allow them to escape justice that easily. The chat is collectively losing its mind. Wait, she can actually smile. That luminously, I thought a smile wasn't even coded into her NPC. Behavioral logic. That's because you idiots keep getting her thrown in a dungeon. Hanbit is elated. It's been an eternity since he last witnessed her radiance. Heibbe is moved to a flood of tears. I am so profoundly grateful to you both. Viewers swarm the feed just to admire her. She's absolutely stunning. We actually pulled off the impossible. She's officially the top waifu from this day forward. This is pure love. He taps the screen as the viewership descends into chaos. What are these guys babbling about? She is deeply indebted for the providential intervention. Thanks to your aid, both my mother and I have reclaimed our lives. Heibbe retrieves a priceless tome. Therefore, bestowing upon you this reward is only just, isn't it? She presents it on the table as a token of eternal gratitude. This is the legendary skill book you've been hunting for. Hanbit triumphantly accepts the manual. Thank you, Heibbe. She remains polite yet distant. It is I who should be thanking you. Yun-Yu is electrified to witness the content. Bro, you are officially the GOAT. Can I just get one look at it? But he flat out shuts him down. Keep your hands off. This masterpiece belongs to me now. Now shall we mobilize for the next objective? Her gratitude is so immense, she insists on giving even more. Where do you think you're going? I still have a mountain of rewards for you. Heibbe hauls a heavy satchel over to them. First take this, and you'll need this as well. He never anticipated such a windfall. It feels as though she's showering them with far more loot than the standard rate. The system flashes a notification directly to his HUD world. Achievement, first clear, is being finalized. Confirms the bounty is being massively buffed. Reward. Scaling has been adjusted to the absolute maximum threshold. Increased from 2,000 to 4,000 gold. The system douses him in rewards after the quest. Resolution. Stat points increased from 3 to 5. Acquired. Plus 2 bonus attribute points. The notifications keep stacking up. SP plus 200. The system spam is relentless. Level up times 5. Obtain plus 5. Stat points from rapid progression. Hanbit is stunned by the colossal haul. Rarity of Heibbe's grimoire has been evolved. Quest item. Heibbe's fireball skill book. Heroic rank. A flame affinity magic tome that once served as Heibbe's catalyst. Upgraded from heroic to unique. He can't help but be momentarily paralyzed. Hanbit stands frozen in contemplation. If Heibbe is truly satisfied, then I suppose that's what matters. A sudden realization strikes his mind the moment he sees the first clear global alert. Yun-Yu is blinded by the radiant flash, staring in sheer awe at the tidal wave of comments surging before him. A skeptical question pops up. Is the system even supposed to do this? A heartbeat later, he erupts into hysterical laughter. Oh man, I honestly had no idea a reward like this even existed. Yun-Yu awkwardly edges, closer rambling with manic energy. A unique rank legendary grimoire. As a reward for the server first clear. That is absolutely insane. Then he suddenly leans in and hisses, "Hey partner, say something," to the legions of viewers. The instant he speaks, the live chat goes nuclear, terrifying Yun-Yu. Everyone, please maintain your composure, just stay calm. Seriously, we were completely blindsided by this too. I swear on my life, watching the comments. Streaked by like lightning, helplessly groans in frustration. Good grief, what now? The chat velocity is staggering. He can't even process what they're typing. Just then she approaches, jolting him back to reality. Here, accept this as well. Hanbit hesitantly reaches out to grasp the parchment. There's even more loot to claim. A second later, the system HUD flashes with a priority alert. Achievement unlocked savior of Heibbe received. Heibbe's seal of recommendation and 1 bonus stat point. Immediately after another letter is thrust into his hands, she leans down and smiles, tenderly as she clarifies. This is a personal referral for the master blacksmith. Seek him out if you require elite weaponry. Upon hearing this, he repeats skeptically, the blacksmith. She recalls their initial encounter and fires back, none of you possess a wool? Decent blade. Furthermore, your equipment is completely compromised after tangling with those slime bombs, isn't it? Hanbit quickly scrambles for an excuse. That foul stench is from the slime bombs, not our personal hygiene. She just plants her hands on her hips and interrogates him once more. You were the one who shoved that decaying rancid thing down my throat. Don't you forget it, Heibbe then. Draws herself up and flashes a radiant, heart-stopping smile before extending an invitation. Regardless, I am deeply indebted to you for these treasures. Do not hesitate to return whenever you and your companions require sanctuary. The chat witnesses this charm offensive and erupts into a frenzy. She's an absolute goddess. Back off, that's my future wife. My lady, the real journey starts now. The legend officially begins. Faced with such a soulful invitation, he could only offer a response in a hushed melodic tone. A moment later, Hanbit studies the map. Spread before him a massive headache brewing. Where do we even begin this chaos? Yeonyu quickly interjects, there's no scripted path or mandatory goal here. In a true open world sandbox, the entire horizon is our playground. He begins rattling off the game's elite selling points. The starting zone in Ellen is universal, but once you clear the gates, every player carves their own destiny. This absolute freedom is the crown jewel of the experience. But that liberty carries a deadly price. However, one reckless step could be your last. If you wander blindly, you'll end up as monster bait in high-level death zones. Countless players have tasted the bitterness of absolute defeat because they couldn't claw their way out of those hellholes. Finally, Yeonyu adds with a smirk, come to think of it, this game is legendary for its hyper-realistic character customization, but seriously, what is up with your face, man? He shifts his gaze, avoiding eye contact while muttering internally, even if I explained the goddess's interference, your tiny brain wouldn't be able to process it. Seeing his silence, Yeonyu elbows him repeatedly, teasing him relentlessly while Hanbit gives him a look of pure speechless exhaustion. Check me out, I'm a direct reflection of my real-world self, just 10 times more elite. It took 5 grueling hours of sculpting to reach this level of perfection. 5 hours. Are you a gamer or a plastic surgeon? As if struck by a bolt of lightning, Yeonyu suddenly bellows, you can also swap genders at will, so just remember that in this world, what you see is rarely the whole truth. Hanbit feels a migraine coming on. So you're saying I have to map out our next move myself. Where is the optimal spot to launch our first epic crusade? Suddenly, a distinct notification chime snaps Hanbit to attention. The screen ignites with a massive alert. User Nick Take Case donated 50,000 won. I'm paying to see Heibbe's fury reach a boiling point. The chat joins. The mob immediately take my money too. Seeing that staggering figure, Hanbit mutters in a daze, 50,000? Meanwhile, Yeonyu erupts in a victory dance. Holy Mother of Gold, Mr. Take Care. A 50,000 won bomb, thank you a million times for that massive donation. Hearing the tally, Hanbit shouts in disbelief, wait, does that mean my cut is 25,000? The screen flashes another high tier alert. User Asubak.7 donated 10,000 won. Then comes another heavy hitter. A legend just dropped 30,000 won, a unique grade item on the very first clear. That's statistically impossible. Finally, a true whale enters the fray. User Dreamweaver donated 100,000 won. When it comes down to it, fire wielders are the undisputed kings, right? His eyes widen at the staggering sum. 100,000 won? Is that a real number? 100,000. Thank you. Infinitely, Dreamweaver. Yeonyu spins instantly to check the analytics. Look, the viewer count is going vertical. We just breached 8,000 concurrents. The chat is a whirlwind of electric hype. This stream is officially going nuclear. My hidden masterpiece, he was a secret weapon only I knew about. I should have gone all in sooner. There are currently 8,164 live souls witnessing this greatness. Hanbit remains silent, simply closing his eyes to process it. By conquering a single quest, he has captivated 8,000 people in a heartbeat. He can only stammer out his profound gratitude. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for your incredible generosity. A comment instantly flashes on screen. Show us a reaction. Worthy of a 100,001 whale. He nods frantically, eager to oblige the request. A reaction, you got it? Witness my gratitude. Meanwhile, Handbit stands dazed, running the numbers. The total donations accumulated so far hit roughly 500,000. 1. My split will be 250,001. On the other side, Yun Yu is performing a ridiculous spectacle. And here is the ultimate dance of joy. To express my thanks, this causes the comment section to implode. He's actually vibing, lol. My eyes, this is pure physical cringe. Look, the viewer count is dropping already. He stares intensely at his trembling hands, weighing the monumental results. All this from conquering a single quest for Heibbe. If this momentum holds, I'll be sitting on a fortune. Handbit clenches his fist, overwhelmed with emotion. Finally, I have the means to repay my mother's sacrifice. As those memories flicker back, he suddenly freezes. He falls into a gloomy reverie. The goddess showed me the passage of time in reality just to pressure me. In his mind's eye, a faded missing person poster manifests, searching for this man named Kang Hanbit, age 25, gender male, details, vanished without a trace after military enlistment. Recalling his mother's anguish, Hanbit thinks bitterly, in that world my mother threw away her entire life just to find me. From this moment on, I'll ensure she finds happiness. Yunyu's voice abruptly snaps him back to the present. Hey, wake up, tap into that skill. Book, every single viewer is dying for a showcase. Hanbit hesitates before answering, understood. He lightly brushes the book's ancient cover. Instantly, Hanbit is plunged into a transcendental virtual space. The system HUD flares fireball. Unique rank, a pyro-elemental art that incinerates everything within a massive infernal blast radius. He narrows his eyes, submerged in thought. This is too broken. It's practically a legal cheat code. He reflects. Had to crawl through absolute hell to earn power like this before. Yan Yu excitedly rushes over and asks, is it absolute insanity, right? Can you feel the skills, complex mechanics just surging into your consciousness? Hanbit blurs out the truth. I don't really feel anything like that. Those words instantly kill the hype. He realizes his slip-up and pivots to correct himself. I mean, it's just starting to synchronize. Maybe the interface is slightly laggy. Yan Yu doesn't suspect the anomaly and continues, maybe because it's a unique tier ability, the synchronization process is more taxing. Regardless, disturbing questions haunt Hanbit's mind. I've clearly mastered this already. Is it possible the game is reflecting the techniques I perfected in that other world? The ethereal image of the goddess flashes in his mind, sparking a realization. So, that's what the existent character clause meant during initialization. The frantic urging of his partner rings out again. Hurry up and blast it, the chat is starting a riot. Hanbit is momentarily speechless. I told you I'm getting there. Yun Yu points toward a massive boulder, signaling him to test the move on that target over there. He immediately raises his hand, centering his focus. Channel all my willpower into the palm of my hand. Hanbit pauses for a beat and inhales a deep breath. Then he ignites his inner mana to summon the flame. Fireball. The colossal sphere of inferno rips through the wind, soaring across the battlefield, carrying a menacing aura. It streaks toward the mark. In an explosion of light, the boulder is pulverized into dust by the impact. Witnessing the devastation, he couldn't help letting out a shocked roar. Hanbit cocks his chin up with a smug grin as he bathes in Yunyu's relentless flattery. Bro, that was straight up legendary. He chuckles under his breath and exclaims, I never imagined a unique rank art would dwarf my wildest expectations by this much. Hanbit suddenly freezes, his eyes widening with primal terror. His complexion turns deathly pale, pupils constricting. As panic floods his gaze, she manifests and coldly decrees title scribe times 55. New sub-effects have been unsealed. Hanbit asks in total bewilderment, stuttering what? The moment he speaks, a colossal hand looms over his head. The crushing spiritual pressure turns Hanbit white with sheer dread. In that instant, the system interface flashes. The Intel Scribe X55 proficiency gain for all. Previously mastered skills is now instantaneous, based on soul-etched combat experience. Keyword spirit synchronized. Pure fury ignites within him, making him gnash his teeth. In bitter resentment, his hands resting on his knees won't stop, trembling. Hanbit seething with rage. Curses internally. That damn goddess. Chapter 11. Hanbit can only take a jagged deep breath, resentfully clutching his head. He thinks, so she's been scrutinizing my every single move. Yun Yu asks, with visible concern. Hey man, are you still with me? Handbit quickly. Masks his turmoil. Don't sweat it, I'm fine. To himself, he gloomily adds, even if I tried to explain, you'd never wrap your head around it. Regardless, Hanbit concocts another excuse. Since it was my maiden voyage with high-tier sorcery, my mana circuits just hit a bit of an overload. That's all. I'm actually curious what a normal rank spell looks like. Can you give me a demo? He innocently points to himself, double-checking in surprise. Me, Yeon-U avoids eye contact in a frantic panic. Do I really have to do this right now? He flashes a look of mock disdain and presses on. I'm genuinely dying to see it. Finally, Yeon-U surrenders to the pressure. Fine, but you better not. Laugh when you see the result. Then Yeon-U falls silent, attempting to steady his trembling focus. He swings his arm to manifest his fireball. Fireball. Witnessing the pathetic spark that vanishes in a heartbeat, Hanbit narrows his eyes and feigns being impressed. He hesitantly offers some hollow praise. It certainly has its own unique aesthetic, I suppose. That pitying attitude makes Yeon-U spiral. Just roast me to my face already, Hanbit. Rendered speechless adds, but looking at this casting, it does seem a bit microscopic. He gloomily clarifies, didn't I warn you from the start grinding? Magical proficiency is an absolute nightmare, yet you breached unique rank on your very first attempt, recalling the past. The system had broadcasted that Lufa had obtained a fire tier skill manual. The more Yeon-U rants, the more resentful his tone becomes. This is so rigged, it's completely illogical. Hanbit smirks and nonchalantly replies, I didn't expect things to escalate this quickly either. The chat starts trolling the spell. That move is only good for lighting a campfire. I once dreamed of being a mage too. Absolute freak of nature genius. However, Hanbit is submerged in thought-running calculations. The discrepancy isn't just the unique rank. The chasm in sheer proficiency is undeniably astronomical. He suddenly assumes a stern expression and advises, listen, you've grasped the very essence of magic all wrong. The chat is equally baffled. The way he's describing it doesn't sound like magic. Not all. He's starting his edgelord lecture again. Hanbit stands tall and deconstructs it. Sorcery isn't as simplistic as just mashing a button and casting. Maybe it's because of Heibbe's grimoire, but the fundamental flaw lies in a much more primitive aspect. He keeps rambling on. The core of magic is actually pure cold mathematics. Chanting and weaving mana requires... It's all about calculations. Chanting and coordinating the mana flow requires calculated down to the microscopic detail. It isn't merely a superficial gap. In tier, do you grasp that? Upon hearing his lecture, the chat erupts into a relentless trolling spree. This guy loves the sound of his own voice way too much. This boomer's immersion level is reaching dangerous peaks. A literal novice actually trying to school the pros. Even though Yeon-U is left speechless, Hanbit presses on. While unique tier skills are formidable, I won't be spamming them anytime soon. The true virtue of magic is its utility, but I don't intend on making it my primary weapon just yet. Finally, Yeon-U can no longer restrain himself. Listen, man. Hanbit shoots back a suspicious glare. What? The next revelation from Yeon-U leaves him utterly paralyzed. You only finished creating this character yesterday. Didn't you? Witnessing his clueless expression, the chat viciously begins roasting him alive. Thanks for the TED Talk, Grandpa. In one ear and straight out the other. He's absolutely drowning in his own power fantasy. Peak Chunibyo. I'm wheezing, lol. Imagine possessing a unique skill and claiming you won't use it. He gets top tier drops and still finds a reason to complain. The I'm the protagonist syndrome is hard-coded into his DNA. Dark Dragon is such a walking punchline. Hanbit's thunderous roar makes Yeon-Yu's eyes nearly pop out. You little brats. He's fuming, ready to challenge them all to a 1v1. What could you possibly understand about the true essence of mana? But the spectators aren't intimidated in the least. Wait, are you an actual wizard in the real world? Hanbit shouts petulantly. Fine, from here on out. Don't expect to receive a single scrap of intel on secret quests. Yeon-U frantically muzzles him to de-escalate the situation. Bro, chill out. In that exact moment, the donation overlay flashes a notification. User FXVCAPAEUNR. Donated 77,777 won. Cool. Your jets? Oh, great archmage. That massive alert instantly turns them into statues. Hanbit suddenly adopts a humble persona and reassures the whales. Oh man, you really didn't have to drop this much. He bows his head with a strained, awkward laugh. We were just hamming it up to make the broadcast more theatrical. Seeing this, the chat can't help but mock his greed. Look at that. Instant 180-degree personality shift. Cash truly is the ultimate cure for a fragile ego. He wears a self-deprecating smirk. Am I Really, that mercenary strange, my fury just evaporated. Shifting gears, Hanbit looks at the camera and asks, everyone's dying to know where my next destination is without waiting. For a response, he strokes his chin. Truth is, I've had a specific location in mind for a while. Sometime later, Yeon Yu stares at the dilapidated house before them. Is this really it? He speaks with clear doubt. You're not planning to follow the standard main storyline. Hanbit remains silent, immersed in thought. It's been an eternity since I last stepped foot here. He exhales. Save the plot for later. Right now, I need to harvest a few more essential skills. With those words, Hanbit kicks the door. Wide open, inside the dimly lit house, stands a man swinging a blade, hacking at something. The walls are draped in raw pelts. Yeon Yu clutches his shivering arms and mutters, ugh, this place always gives me the chills. The man catches the noise and pivots to demand, what's this? Do I have intruders? It's the Archery NPC Richter the Hunter. Hanbit doesn't hesitate to state his intent. I'm here to master the way of the bow. Richter doesn't even look up, slamming his butcher knife viciously into the cutting board. Is that so? He looms forward and asks, are you certain you possess the necessary grit? Thus, chat erupts in hype. The patience. Gatekeeper has arrived. This part is a total vibe check on patience. One wrong answer and he boots you straight to the curb. Hanbit rolls his wrist and arrogantly proclaims, I have an abundance of both grit and raw talent. I've got an abundance of both. Richter snorts, big words for a small fry. The trial itself is actually deceptively simple. A heartbeat later, the quest window erupts. Richter's challenge, to master the bow. You must survive Richter's ordeal. Secure the target score. Reward 500. Gold basic archery manual rank / level. Variable 1, potential point 100. EXP the hunter turns. To finalize the terms. 30 arrows. A bullseye nets you 10 points. The threshold is 200. Understood. He calmly retorts, crystal clear. Yeon Yu overhears this and hisses a frantic warning. Ugh. You should have at least dumped your spare points into agility. First, this clear is going to be a total disaster. Hanbit remains unfazed, simply stating that he's got it under control. He notches an arrow and draws the string back his arm, as rigid as tempered steel, eyes hyper-focused on the mark. Then, he releases the tension, watching the arrow wobble pathetically and bite the dust. Yeon Yu facepalms and groans. I begged you to invest in agility, but you ignored me. Yet, Hanbit doesn't flinch. He mutters, it's fine, I've already deciphered the pattern. The chat starts, exploding. So Dark Dragon is just a clueless noob after all. No, Shot, his reflexes are usually god tier. Yeon Yu can only play along with the chaos. Well, just try not to embarrass us, I guess. But before he can utter another syllable, Yeon Yu freezes in sheer disbelief. On the target, an arrow is now buried perfectly in the center. He can't process the sight and blurs out, what the hell just happened? Yeon Yu stares wide-eyed at the bullseye, bellowing, that's impossible. Meanwhile, he's already drawing again despite his arm, shuddering under the strain. Seeing another shaft pierce the gold, Yeon Yu can't help but roar. Bro, what kind of monster are you? A 7-pointer, then 2 10-pointers and over. The remaining 26 shots, every single one of those 26 consecutive arrows, slams directly into the bullseye. Each projectile tears through the air with lethal force and thuds into the core. All of them are dead center. 10-point strikes. After finishing, Hanbit lowers the bow. He can't help but smirk inwardly. Total score 287. That was the moment he achieved a feat deemed impossible for a player using level 2 trash gear. Meanwhile, on the far side of the capital, as gold coins are flipped into the air, a weary sigh escapes. Leah snatches a coin mid-flight and grumbles, so tedious, this is beyond boring. Isn't there any real thrill left in this world? She clenches her fist and clicks her tongue in annoyance. Small-time prey with such pathetic security on their purses, hardly worth the effort of a master. Mid-sentence, Leah suddenly halts, tracking 2 figures lurking at the entrance. She looks suspicious, then Leah's face twists into a predatory smile. What morons just stumbled into their own wake? Hu Yeon Yu, vibrating with excitement, clutches his sack of loot and hums a triumphant tune. That attitude makes Hanbit just roll, his eyes in utter exhaustion. Finally, he can't help but intervene. You're a bit too hyped for your own good, man. He skips ahead and chirps back, I can't help it. I literally can't wipe this grin off my face. Yeon Yu is glowing as he showers him with praise. That display earlier was seriously on another level. Were you a pro athlete before you started gaming? Hanbit's mouth twitches as he dismisses it. Not even close. But Yeon Yu is oblivious and cheers wildly. At this rate, we're going to be swimming in gold bars. Yeon Yu starts gloating. I happened to bet big on the community poll, and I walked away with a massive jackpot. No one could have predicted your archery skills would be this legendary. The more he rants, the more manic he becomes. I think we should pull stunts like this. Every single day, Hanbit helplessly sighs, Lufa. Hey, the broadcast is still live. The chat is collectively stunned. Echoing, exactly, I'm wide awake for this. The toxicity in the comments is surging. Suddenly, Yeon Yu halts and asks, so, where is our next objective? He looks pensively at his hands and begins strategizing. I'm planning to acquire advanced swordsmanship. He innocently interjects, wait, you mean that agility skill? Hanbit shrugs and clarifies. That's a mandatory prerequisite if you intend to master the blade. Upon hearing that, the chat is visibly blindsided. Does a hidden skill like that actually exist in this game? Regardless, it's nothing but high-tier trash. Seeing this, Yeon Yu's eyes bulge as he gasps. The haste skill is notorious as a top-tier failure because it possesses zero tactical utility. But he ignores the warning and bolts. Stop whining and keep up. I'm making the first move. He has no choice but to submit and pursue him. Hey, don't leave me behind. A moment later, Leah observes the duo and slowly speaks. There's a reason everyone shuns the haste skill, and that's because she narrows her eyes with predatory confidence and continues, compared to its actual payoff, the difficulty of my trial is simply insane. Yeon Yu leans in skeptically and asks, are you absolutely certain you can survive this? Hanbit doesn't offer a word, but steps forward. He stops dead in front of Leah. Hanbit calmly issues his demand. I'm here to master your greatest talent. She scrutinizes him with growing interest. You've got quite a heavy aura, don't you? But as she speaks, Leah suddenly flickers and vanishes. In a blur, the gold pouch is already nestled in her palm. Leah swiftly retreats before either of them can even blink. She flaunts the pouch and arrogantly scoffs. Your reactions are still pathetically sluggish. Leah smiles provocatively and declares, let's just consider this tuition fee as a souvenir of our first encounter. But noting his stoic demeanor, she grows slightly suspicious. Why are you so unbothered? No outrage, no reaction. Hanbit coolly leans against a stone wall and commands, you've pocketed the fee. Haven't you now impart that? Skill. Internally, he's calculating the debt. Compared to the fortune she plundered from me during 55 vicious loops, this price is a total bargain. Leah falls into a brief contemplative silence. Then she suddenly scowls and breaks into a malicious grin. I really can't stomach that smug attitude of yours. That's how it's going to be. To their shock, Leah instantly vaults away. Class is officially in session. Try to apprehend me if you've got the guts. The system screen flares to life. Quest. Leah's promise. The skill mentor has fled. Locate and capture her within the time limit. Reward. Leah's haste manual. Rank/level. Undetermined. One potential point. 100. EXP Hanbits. Expression darkens. He begins estimating the odds. According to the stream intel, pinning Leah down once she's hit her stride is statistically impossible. Leah only permits the quest to be cleared after extorting 25,000 gold over 5 grueling lessons, each lasting 3 hours, totaling 15 hours of hell. Meanwhile, Yeon Yu is dazed, lamenting, my savings. Where is my gold? Staring at the countdown. Flickering before him, he falls into deep thought. During this window, I'm locked out of other quests, and the timer freezes if I log out. The chat witnesses his grimace and starts buzzing. Is he actually going to attempt to clear this impossible quest? What's his plan? Now, Hanbit breaks into a chilling, eerie laugh and retorts, is that even a question? I'm going to drag Leah back here by her hair, obviously. Yeon Yu hears this and asks in disbelief, what I warned you already, no one has cleared this stage because you can't touch her with your bare hands. Just read the chat. If you can't outrun her yourself, just witness. If you can't capture her yourself, if I can't bridge the gap myself, I'll simply summon someone who can. Meanwhile, back at the bustling tavern, Heibbe's voice rings out in pure astonishment. You expect me to hunt down that little brat Leah? She eyes him with a judgmental glare. It's a surprise to cross paths again, but how on earth did you uncover the secret that Leah and I are blood sisters? He lets out a dry, hollow laugh and spins a lie without flinching. It's a common rumor that everyone in this hideout is whispering about. She can only let out a defeated sigh. Fine, I concede. Your point. At that moment, Yeon Yu edges closer and whispers in a daze, wait. So they're actually related? Hanbit rolls his eyes and scoffs. Yeah, I spotted some hidden graffiti near Leah's starting position, deception level max. The chat sees the subtitle exposing his blatant lie and loses its mind. Hold up, was there actually text there? What did he just say? The viewers immediately erupt in chaos. I didn't see a single scrap of writing there. Does Dark Dragon possess the predatory eyes of a hawk? Or something. Ah, so that explains why his archery skills were so damn broken. He drops a chillingly serious warning, you amateurs should pay more attention to your surroundings. Having delivered the line, Hanbit flashes an incredibly punchable smirk. If I hadn't orchestrated Heibbe's arrest from the start, this operation wouldn't have gone nearly this smoothly. That arrogant attitude instantly sets the viewers' blood boiling, attacking us with the cold, hard truth. How low can this guy go? No matter how much we study him, we can't replicate his insane methods. Revolt against the MC. Suddenly Heibbe snaps, her head around and barks annoyedly, Are you coming or not? I thought you were desperate to corner Leah. Hearing her, he lets out an awkward laugh and replies, Right behind you. Meanwhile, Leah is blissfully humming a victory tune. She sings while tormenting a stray cat in front of her. Leah seizes. The cat's paws and smirks wickedly. I bet those losers gave up on the chase ages ago. She remains completely submerged in her own smugness. There's no way they track me down in this forgotten corner of the world. Suddenly, menacing voice vibrates from the shadows behind her. Hey, recognizing the presence, Leah screams in absolute panic. Big sis! Staring at the newcomer. She's utterly bewildered and stammers, What is this nightmare? This is cheating. How could you drag her all the way to my secret hideout? You were the one who declared I could use any means necessary. Besides, I happen to share a long, complicated history with your sister. We have much to discuss, Leah. Wait, sis, I can explain. How many times have I commanded you not to prey on people's pockets? I've warned you repeatedly not to run around thieving. Do you want to be devoured by monsters? Like Lululeo before you even wake up. I screwed up. Please forgive me, sis. Enough. Now that this is settled. March back to the shop this instant. If I catch you loitering in the slums again, you're dead meat. Understood. Yes, ma'am. Thanks. Honestly, I've never encountered anyone quite like you. A debt is a debt, so here, take this manual. Quest success. The rewards have been scaled to the absolute limit based on clear speed. Reward Leah's haste manual. Unique rank, 3. Potential points, 500 EXP. Unique again? I'm starting to loathe this rigged world. This was such a monumental hassle. I'm out. What a total nightmare. I hope I never lay eyes on you again. Sure, catch you later. Finally tracked you down. Is the business concluded? Mission accomplished? No. Stress the camera was rolling and captured every detail. And get a load of this, another unique drop. Another unique rank loofah. Your own stream is being completely hijacked. Since when? Did the viewers possess more game knowledge than the actual streamer? At this point, Lufa has basically become a spectator bot on his own channel. What this guy is a literal tactical genius. Our Lufa could never be this calculated. Now let's go master the sword. A brilliant flash of cerulean light erupts as the tome vanishes into his mind. Vanished from Hanbit's grasp. He's left completely blindsided, standing there, paralyzed for a few tense seconds. A grimoire that evaporates the moment you read it. I'll never get used to this magic. Yeon Yu suddenly interjects, Hey, partner, the viewers are dying to know. Why? Did you prioritize the haste skill, Hanbit? Strokes his chin submerged in deep thought. Isn't the logic behind it obvious enough? He begins, deconstructing his theory. Imagine you and I are sprinting at the exact same velocity. All the bets are riding on horse number 1. If I trigger haste, I'll gain that razor-thin edge. To snatch the victory, right. Hanbit, 15.062 seconds. Lufa 15.07s. But the haste buff in this world has a notoriously pathetic impact. Yeon Yu immediately fires back with skepticism. Even at unique rank, it's not going to make a game-breaking difference. However, all he receives in return is a look of absolute scorn from Hanbit. Try dying over 50 grueling times yourself before you lecture me? Noob. Yeon Yu unsheathes his blade, radiating unearned confidence. You said we were here to hone your swordsmanship. Correct, in this arena, I am your superior. Level 2 swordsmanship. Already evolved to advanced tier. It's lethality incarnate, the viewers. Witnesses boast and ignite a riot in the chat. Superior, my foot. That's just the baseline level for any casual scrub. Advanced tier? Oh, I'm shaking. I'm literally wheezing, lol. Whatever, he's just the same delusional Lufa as always. Lufa stacks another, like it's a daily habit. Unexpectedly, a sharp remark from Hanbit leaves Yeon Yu stunned. Is that the consensus among the viewers right now while he's clumsily navigating? The system HUD Hanbit seems to have reached a chilling conclusion. It appears most players, Yeon Yu included, are tethered to the same predictable path. He calculates the variables. The culprit is undoubtedly That meta guidebook isn't it because rumors suggest there's currently no better roadmap for beginners than that generic trash. The reason no soul conquered Heibbe's quest before me is because Ariel's deception made her completely unreachable. All of the calculated malice led to a catastrophic ending. In the original timeline, Heibbe was captured and vanished into the void. As for Leah, she withered into an NPC that no one spared a glance for, of course. Plenty of Mavericks still choose to play AOP in their own chaotic style. The sheer autonomy in this game makes it impossible to discern which trajectory is the absolute truth. From that, Hanbit concludes that being the pioneer to clear the hidden quests for Heibbe and Leah means his actions are the definitive milestones leading to the true path. Stealing his resolve, Hanbit makes his final play. Fine, I'll conquer AOP entirely on my own terms. Still deep down, a seed of doubt remains. He's unsure what the goddess is orchestrating, but no matter the cost. He refuses to be a puppet dancing on her strings any longer. Hanbit and the crew press on with their journey. The surrounding wilderness is thick with ancient trees and looks deceptively serene. Despite his focus, Hanbit can't help but grumble. He's the most sought-after combat NPC, but this trek is a total nightmare. Yeon Yu is also visibly drained. He pantingly explains that's because his entire persona is built on being a reclusive blade master. However, when he spots a weathered pavilion ahead, Yeon Yu's energy shifts instantly. We're here, just beyond those steps. He hails the figure with forced enthusiasm. Forgive the intrusion, but I've come to master the blade. However, the warrior merely fixes them with a frigid, piercing stare. The bloodlust radiating from his silhouette is suffocatingly intense. His gaze doesn't possess a shred of mercy. Yeon-yu flinches, visibly shaken by the heavy atmosphere. He's every bit as terrifying as the rumor said. The man slowly sets down his teacup. He walks toward them. He is the NPC skill instructor for swordsmanship. The swordsman Borla. Without a single greeting, Borla directly issues the quest. Swing this wooden sword. Keep going until I tell you to stop. Hanbit looks in the direction he's pointing and sees the blade. Use the wooden sword sitting behind you. Borla's attitude remains icy. You came to learn the way of the sword, so we don't need long-winded explanations. A second later, he sets his own sword down and picks up a wooden one ready to spar with Hanbit. Yeon Yu had done some research. This swordsmanship trial is split into two stages. Part 1 is the swings and part 2 is the sparring. He curiously asked the viewers how long it took them to clear this swordsmanship quest. The chat immediately starts buzzing. For me, it took about an hour and a half. Plenty of people take over 2 hours. It really depends on the specific case. No one has found the exact evaluation criteria yet. But one thing's for sure, you're dead meat. If you talk back to Borla, I've seen the viral clip. Yeon Yu mutters to himself, wondering what he's thinking. A clip in Setiesi in his head. An imaginary scene plays out. Hilarious. Some guy trying to act tough while reeking of booze. Should I slash you vertically or horizontally? At that moment, Borla answers his opponent right as he finishes him off. Horizontal slash. Yeon Yu strokes his chin, deducing, so a skill-teaching NPC has the right to PK players too. The viewers are hype, commenting wildly, that's insane. The AI here is terrifying. The era of humanity is officially over. I'm really curious to see how Dark Dragon performs. Should we start a poll to see if he finishes within 30 minutes? But the current world record is only 28 minutes. No way he pulls that off. Just like that, the viewers decide to go big, shocking Yeon Yu to his core. Sotgot registered a challenge, donating 200,000 won if he takes more than 25 minutes to go jump off a cliff. Eleni Kitchenai chipped in another 20,000 won. Oh man, a 25-minute limit is brutal. Samson added another 70,000 won. This is literally the safest investment ever. Receiving the signal, Yeon Yu constantly cheers Hanbit on. Buddy, the challenge. Bounty has already passed 800,000 won. Just 25 minutes, you can totally do it. He hears this and is speechless. This bounty is double the archery quests. Hanbit goes dead silent to concentrate as much as possible. He closes his eyes, ignoring his surroundings. Hanbit starts thinking the core factor in swinging the wooden sword isn't the number of reps or the completion time. He draws on his own experience. From the start, Borla didn't expect much from the skills of rookie swordsmen. Most players that Borla has encountered in this virtual world carry the same mindset. Isn't a sword always the most basic choice? And more than anyone, Hanbit understands that to Borla, witnessing players act like that must be an extreme insult. Hanbit grips the sword. His gaze is now unwavering. There is only one thing Borla truly seeks, and that is a sincere and serious attitude toward the blade. He is ready to begin the spar, but Borla remains perfectly calm. His eyes don't show a hint of hesitation. The warrior slowly lowers his steaming teacup. He strides toward them with predatory grace. This is the legendary swordsmanship instructor, the master bladesmith Borla. Skipping all pleasantries, Borla curtly initiates the trial. Wield this wooden practice blade. Do not cease your swings until I grant you permission. Hanbit tracks the master's calloused finger and spots the training weapon. Take up the wooden sword resting behind you. Borla's demeanor is cold as mountain ice. You seek the path of the blade, therefore frivolous chatter is unnecessary. A heartbeat later, he sheathes his steel and grips a wooden substitute, positioning himself to test Hanbit's resolve. Yeonyu's intel confirms this. Ordeal is divided into two grueling phases. Phase 1, the repetition. Phase 2, the duel. He probes the chat, asking how long it took the pros to conquer this martial gauntlet. The comments immediately erupt into a frenzy. It took me an agonizing 90 minutes. Most players fail at the 2-hour mark. It's entirely subjective to the user. The hidden evaluation metrics remain a total mystery. But mark my words, you're a dead man if you show Borla any disrespect. I've seen the infamous clip. Yeonyu mutters under his breath, wondering what the chat means. A clip in his mind, a vivid scenario manifests. Pathetic. Some fool trying to act tough while reeking of cheap ale. Shall I bisect you vertically or horizontally? In that vision, Borla answers his doomed opponent just as he delivers the finishing blow. Horizontal execution. Yeonyu strokes his chin, musing. So even a skill NPC has the authority to PK arrogant players. The viewers are electric, spamming the feed. That's terrifying. The AI in this game is sentient. The era of human supremacy is officially over. I am genuinely hyped to see how Dark Dragon handles this. Should we launch a poll on whether he clears it under 30 minutes? Impossible. The current world record is exactly 28 minutes. No way he shatters that. Suddenly, the viewers decide raise the stakes, shaking Yeonyu to his core. Sotgot issued a high-stakes challenge. I'll donate 200,000 won if he fails the 25-minute mark and goes to jump off a bridge. Eleni Kitchen Eye tossed in another 20,000 won. Damn, a 25-minute deadline is pure savagery. Samson stacked another 70,000 won. This is the safest bet I've ever made. Seeing the numbers skyrocket, Yeonyu frantically cheers Hanbit on. Buddy the Pool has already eclipsed 800,000 won. Just 25 minutes show them what you're made of. He hears the sum and is left stunned. The bounty is double the archery reward. Hanbit enters a state of absolute silence to channel every ounce of concentration. He shuts his eyes, drowning out the digital noise. Hanbit begins to realize the secret to perfecting the swing isn't found in raw repetition or beating the clock. He taps into his deepest combat instincts. From the jump, Borla harbors zero expectations. From the clumsy skills of rookie amateurs, most players that Borla has tested in this simulation carry the same arrogant mindset. Isn't the sword just the most basic starter kit? And more than anyone, Hanbit understands that to a master like Borla, witnessing such mediocrity must be an unbearable insult. Hanbit grips the hilt. His focus is now razor sharp and unwavering. There is only one virtue Borla truly craves, and that is a soul-deep devotion to the soul of the blade. He is primed to begin the duel, but Borla maintains a terrifyingly perfect calm. Yeonyu is even more mesmerized by this spectacle. He held his ground. Borla suddenly releases a jagged exhale and hoists his blade, aura radiating violently. It appears the master isn't finished yet. Hanbit narrows his gaze, refusing to be eclipsed by his monstrous opponent. The distance between the two edges vanishes in a heartbeat, and the shrieking clash of timber and steel resonates with a bone-chilling ring. Hanbit trembles, cursing internally. Exactly as I suspected. In this virtual world, my neural responses are still agonizingly sluggish. The culprit is undoubtedly the hardware's synchronization lag. Suddenly, he ignites his momentum and vaults skyward, utilizing his instincts. Hanbit evades a lethal strike by a razor's edge. Regardless, it's a miracle I secured that haste skill when I did. The gale begins to howl around them as if reacting to the ferocity of their duel. Borla casts a sidelong glance and sneers. You seem quite preoccupied with your thoughts, don't you? His demeanor is suffocatingly arrogant. Are you struggling to maintain that composure, or has the situation spiraled? Beyond your pathetic calculations, Hanbit smirks and retorts, aren't we both in the same boat? The livestream spectators are paralyzed with anticipation. He actually has the stones to provoke a master in the middle of a death match. This guy is a certified maniac. Lol. Dark Dragon. Drop the act, Borla scowls, his eyes flickering with lethal irritation. It seems I've completely underestimated your arrogance. He loses his remaining patience and lunges. I'll put an end to this farce now. Hanbit isn't rattled in the slightest. On the contrary, he's eerily serene. We won't know the victor until the final drop of blood is spilled. The two warriors collide once more. Hanbit was nearly erased from existence by Borla sending Yan Yu into a frantic tailspin. Buddy, he's a literal cheat code. Why is a starter? Swordsmanship trial. This hellish when Yan Yu realizes that Hanbit is unscathed, he gasps in relief. Thank the heavens he managed to intercept that. Everyone in the chat suffered a collective heart attack. That was nightmare fuel. Talk about a life flashing before your eyes moment. They are obsessively analyzing dark dragons. Kinetic coordination is absolutely god tier. This game just turned into a hardcore Souls-like. Hanbit scrutinizes Borla's micro-expressions and concludes impatience is starting to cloud his judgment. And just as he predicted, the master swings his blade and charges. By all accounts, I should have bitten the dust an eternity ago. But I'm proving to be more resilient than he ever imagined. Borla is hell-bent on executing Hanbit, but this time our MC reads his murderous intent and executes a perfect parry. Borla is thunderstruck. He can't fathom the reality unfolding in front of him. Hanbit wears a predatory smirk. Your movements are starting to reveal massive openings. Borla is hurled back a staggering distance by the kinetic feedback. Hanbit's keen eyes detect the blade, ominously gathering mana in his opponent's grip. He doesn't lower his guard for even a millisecond. This looks lethal. Borla leaps to strike and Hanbit synchronizes with him flawlessly. Their blades meet in total unison. Borla's eyes are drowning in bloodlust. He has no intention of showing Hanbit an ounce of mercy. Conversely, Hanbit's aura is just as suffocating. They are an immovable object meeting an unstoppable force. The deafening shriek of clashing metal shatters the silence. Before long, the wooden blade begins to splinter and crack. Borla, utilizing his vast expertise, manages to batter Hanbit and his weapon aside. Hanbit's entire frame absorbs a massive shockwave, yet he simply flashes a wicked, triumphant grin. Borla is utterly dumbfounded, standing there, paralyzed, even as Hanbit crashes. To the turf, he still maintains a legendary pose. That's 4 successful parries. Pay up. Hanbit's entire body finally succumbs to exhaustion. The quest was a resounding triumph. Everyone in the chat is reeling from the spectacle. What kind of madness did we just witness? RIP my bank account. I'm still holding my breath because the quest technically hasn't concluded yet. What is Borla even contemplating? Hanbit lies sprawled on the dirt, panting that the final exchange was genuinely brutal. The system then flashes a notification that the duel must terminate because the training sword has splintered. Spectators start theorizing wildly in the comments. So the trial reaches its climax. Here, then the clear is officially a success. But honestly, this feat is still far too insane to process. The choreography just now was absolute peak cinema. This is the first time I've ever seen Borla lose his composure like that, and it's only day 2. Hanbit on the other hand is completely unbothered. After all this rush of adrenaline is intoxicating. Is it seriously only the second day? Suddenly a thought strikes him. What about the bounty from the challenge? Yon Yu immediately fires back. Once the stream wraps, I'll tally the donations and transfer. You're cut in full, buddy. Hanbit looks skeptically at his partner. You're actually going to send it? Yan Yu reaffirms. With absolute certainty. Count on it. Man, out of the blue, he probes. By the way, our first encounter was back in the service, right? Hanbit's face betrays zero emotion. Yeah, what's your point? A second later, Yan Yu slaps a hand on his shoulder and asks with fervor, what kind of specialized role did you have? Before you enlisted, Hanbit remained silent, musing to himself, is he sensing my 55 loops of regression or past incarnations? Is he really digging into that classified history? Hanbit quickly deflects the topic. I just drifted through some odd jobs. Yan Yu then reveals the chat is currently generating a massive list of theories regarding your past profession. Gourmet chef, assassin, mercenary, special ops. Or maybe a Ronin. Doesn't that sound a bit preposterous? Suddenly, a viewer asks, is the entire jackpot from this challenge going to Dark Dragon? Yan Yu confirms it without hesitation. Hanbit scratches his head, utterly perplexed. Aren't we splitting the loot? 50-50 why? Am I taking the whole haul Yeon-yu is being remarkably selfless. It's fine, man. You conquered those trials solely through your terrifying physical prowess. Hanbit looks at the screen and gives a deadpan reply. I truly appreciate the sentiment, but at the very least, it's a relief you've dodged that bungee jump. As soon as he speaks, the entire chat begins trolling him. Did you really think he'd actually take the leap for real? Hanbit is stunned, still failing to grasp the joke. That wasn't the plan. Just then, a familiar alert flashes. Sword God donated 100,000 Korean won. Master the blade even further from now on, so I can study your technique. Yeon-yu is moved to tears. OMG Sword God, thank you again for this legendary donation. I'll grind harder on my swordsmanship. Meanwhile, Hanbit catches a detail. It turns out, Borla has been brooding alone by the ancient tree this whole time. Hanbit observes his posture and guesses the old man looks absolutely livid. Despite his silence, he's clearly struggling to contain a volcanic outrage. Hanbit looks at Borla and thinks he's likely blaming his own incompetence for letting a novice read every single one of his moves. He approaches and asks the duel is concluded. Correct, master. Though visibly reluctant, Borla is forced to confirm. Yes, just wait here. Hanbit stands there in silence, watching Borla stomp away. The master is gnashing his teeth to mask his wounded pride. Whoever challenges him next is going to be the unfortunate punching bag for his rage. With a grunt, the master thrusts a weathered tome forward. Claim this. Hanbit accepts the offering with solemn respect and scrutinizes the ancient bindings, haste magic, and now Borla's legendary style. This marks the fourth breakthrough, doesn't it before? Long, the triumphant quest completion window erupts. In light of Borla's legendary evaluation, the spoils have been amplified to the absolute limit, 3,000 gold and a level 1 fundamental swordsmanship manual. Unique rank. Every spectator in the broadcast collectively gasps. 4 unique tier skills already. This is pure unadulterated insanity. The others were great, but a unique rank in swordsmanship is a game-breaking, early game advantage. Breaking news, the LPT server forums have officially imploded just. Then more alerts. Top student swordsman donated 10,000 Korean won. Master, please enlighten me on the secrets of your blade. Immediately, the chat turns into a frenzy of begging. I need lessons too. Me too. Sign me up. Hanbit is completely drained of social energy, so he shoves Yeon-yu forward as a human. Shield, you handle the fan service. I still have urgent business to resolve. He receives his orders and dives into his role. Thanks. Everyone, I suppose I can impart a few pointers. In fact, I've already mastered level 2 swordsmanship myself. However, the fans mercilessly roast him. Nobody asked, loser. Get off the stage, kid. Hanbit intercepts Borla and calls him back. Wait, Borla. He probes one final time. There's surely one more hidden reward tucked away, right? Borla stands like a statue for a long moment. Finally, he retrieves a mysterious heirloom from his robes. I received word that my mentor migrated to the Ellen region. If you cross paths with him, present this token. Only then will he deem you worthy of his time. Seek my master. Where the winds converge, Hanbit seizes the artifact and dissects Borla's cryptic words. Where the winds converge, once. The loose ends are tied. Hanbit turns to summon his companion. Let's move. We're heading back to the capital. What are you even doing? He continues his desperate fan service, just showering the audience with gratitude. But in reality, the chat is screaming, my eyes, I swear I'll never beg for another lesson again. Then a notification chimes. CE donated 1,000 Korean won. Currently being decimated by Borla. I've been thoroughly hazed today. The hours bleed into each other. Who know? How much time has passed before Yeon-yu asks, is our next objective tracking down Borla's master? The viewers are stunned by the revelation. I never imagined that old monster Borla even had a teacher. This definitely isn't the generic game I'm used to. Hanbit is exhausted and sluggishly mutters, let's call it quits. For today, Yeon-yu is shell-shocked. What? He merely stands and stretches his aching body to relieve the tension. I still have a real job to attend. If I don't catch some sleep, I'm toast. See? You tomorrow. Yeon-yu doesn't press the issue. Fair enough. We've been grinding nonstop for an eternity. See you tomorrow, partner. Be sure to log back in the second you're off the clock clear, but Hanbit just carelessly shrugs. I can't guarantee that. Hanbit then initiates the logout sequence. It's stifling in here. His entire body is saturated in sweat. I need a cold shower and a dead sleep. Perhaps I pushed too hard during that swordsmanship trial in the real world. I didn't even move a muscle. But right at that moment, his phone vibrates. A message illuminates the screen. Buddy, legendary work today. Transferring the funds now? I'm hitting the sack immediately. Glancing at the transaction, Hanbit grumbles. You could have just pooled it and sent it later. But as he checks the digits, he's struck completely speechless. Hanbit just stares at the glowing screen, frozen in place. His hands erupt into uncontrollable trembling. What is this? The total donations from yesterday and today add up to this much. Hanbit begins. He begins crunching the numbers. His actual playtime spanned a mere 10 hours. Is it possible that my 9 to 5 grind is finally obsolete? No. Perished the thought. I bled and clawed through hell just to reclaim the normal life I once craved. If I abandoned reality to chase that digital rabbit hole, it would be a catastrophic blunder. Hanbit mutters to himself, I'm genuinely remorseful toward the viewers, but this streaming gig remains strictly a hobby. The audience is turning toxic in the archives. Dark Dragon, have you lost your mind? Quit acting humble, you absolute fraud. 4 unique skills. Hanbit feels a pang of guilt regarding Yeonyu. I can't just leave him hanging. He's been my biggest advocate. Buddy, I just wired you 3 million won. You're not bailing on the stream, right? The promise was already forged. What, 3 million won in one go? You bet your life I'm staying. Hanbit struggles to tether his soul to reality. No stay, grounded. There's no guarantee the donations will remain this astronomical. Mom will sleep much sounder if maintain a stable, respectable career. Yet weighing the options, Hanbit breaks into a radiant grin. But proving my worth as a son like this is an incredible feeling. After some time, Hanbit groggily bolts awake to an urgent, piercing voice. Hanbit. He's still caught in a fog, clinging to the remnants of sleep. Mom, why the wake-up call? At this ungodly hour, Sejin barks at him irritably. Early the sun is already searing the sky. She fumes, shoving his glowing phone screen in his face. More critically, where did this small fortune come from? Hanbit snaps his eyes wide, staring at the balance. He's completely at a loss for words. That's without warning. Sejin delivers a few more disciplinary whacks. What kind of trouble were you stirring up? All night, you aren't committing crimes behind my back, are you? Hanbit protests, flailing. No, that's cold hard, legitimate. Cash, Mom, let me explain. Before you beat me into the floor. Sejin remains skeptical. Legitimate in what world? She glares at Hanbit. The only way to hoard this much capital, this rapidly, is gambling. He's utterly defenseless. I've told you it's nothing like that. Good grief! Hanbit begins recounting the entire saga from the start. I mentioned Yeonyu to you, remember? Well, it turns out the gift he gave me was an invite into a new world. We broadcasted our gameplay together, and because the reception was explosive, I raked in a massive profit. Hanbit reaffirms. You know my character, Mom? I'm not wired to do anything nefarious. Sejin exhales a long sigh. Fine, we'll dive deeper once I'm home. Now move or you'll be late for your shift. Hanbit refuses to drop it, insisting, Mom, I'm telling the absolute truth. Sejin's tone softens significantly. Who said I didn't believe? You, I'm just terrified you're burning yourself out. Hanbit is so overwhelmed with emotion, he stands paralyzed. He thinks to himself, Mom, don't shoulder the burden anymore. From this moment on, you won't have to face this debt alone. Hanbit vows to grind until his joints ache, just so his mother can finally enjoy the most tranquil and luxurious life imaginable. Hanbit narrows his eyes, lost in the shadows of memory. I've survived 55 cycles of agony, regressing and reincarnating in a world of slaughter. The weight of this reality is a cakewalk compared to those horrific centuries. He clenches his fist with grim determination. I used to believe, but Sumin rests her chin on her palm and starts nagging. How does an intern dare to daydream when he's barely started? His shift, snap out of it immediately. This is a professional workplace, not a lounge. Already, this is a professional environment. Hanbit screams internally in pure frustration. Being the punching bag for a toxic supervisor's baseless morning tantrums is beyond infuriating. He flashes back to the moment. Minho thrust a mountain of paperwork into his hands the second he stepped into the department. Senior Lee? Minho buried me under a landslide of documents before vanishing for a field inspection. Hanbit stares, intently dissecting the data within the lines. The content is notoriously convoluted, but it's structured so logically that I have zero difficulty deciphering the core details. Then he turns to depart, feeling a wave of awkwardness. Just as I'm bracing to start the grind, the team leader suddenly summons me like a servant. Now Hanbit stands motionless before Sungmin with his head bowed. That arrogant prick labels me a trial version and starts sabotaging my day with chores that have absolutely nothing to do with my contract. He clicks his tongue and tosses a corporate card onto the desk, barking, get downstairs and buy a round of coffees. Bring them back here for me. Hanbit hesitates, trying to clarify, team leader. What specific orders would you like? Sir, Sungmin's brow furrows into a mask of pure displeasure. He glares at Hanbit with hostility. Everyone in this office drinks iced Americanos. Didn't Lee Minho teach you? Basic observation. He flinches and panics. Responding? Instantly, my apologies, sir. It simply slipped my mind for a moment. After that, Hanbit trudges away, each step feeling like lead. That snake is trying to weaponize Lee Min-ho's reputation, to bully me the moment I show any vulnerability. Even as I play the role of errand boy, my heart feels incredibly heavy. A while later, he returns, only to find Sung-min ruthlessly berating Min-ho. After I finished the coffee run and retreated to my station, I saw Lee Min-ho getting savagely chewed out by the team leader. His eyes are hollow, as he absorbs the abuse as if this is a daily ritual. He just stands there, enduring the boss's deranged rant with lifeless eyes. Min-ho's expression is completely vacant. Then he slowly finds his voice. He tiredly voices his absolute exhaustion regarding the overwhelming workload. I'm afraid I've reached my limit. I can't take on more. Sungmin seizes the documents in his grip and roars in a blind fury. Lee Min-ho, you think you've grown a backbone now? How dare you try to cherry-pick your assignments? He swings his arm and hurls the file straight into Min-ho's face. Sungmin screams hysterically, if I tell you to work. You just do it, you ungrateful brat. Witnessing the humiliation, Hanbit slams the coffee cup onto the desk. Team leader, here is your order, sir. Then he kneels to gather the documents, hemorrhaging across the floor. Sungmin clutches his coffee and casts a frigid, suspicious glance toward the Hanbit. The team leader pierces me with a sharp glare as if he decodes the silent defiance behind my actions. He scolds. In a menacing low voice, you people are truly pathetic. After slinking back to the office, Min-ho collapses dejectedly in his chair. After finishing the reorganization of the files, we return to our desks. Lee Min-ho's spirit seems utterly broken. Hanbit observes his defeated reflection on the computer monitor. His eyes look more desolate than ever. Then Min-ho speaks with raw sincerity, offering a quiet apology. I'm sorry, honey. I forced you to witness something that degrading again. Hanbit scratches his head and lets out a forced laugh, replying, no, it's nothing, sir, I'm sure. The team leader is just having a particularly bad day today. I'm sorry, and it isn't just about the outburst. He turns around slowly to reveal that the new project the team leader dumped on him is in active development. As you can see, Min-ho glances at the fortress of document and continues, it's going to devour every second of my time. I'm afraid that from now on, I won't be able to guide you as closely, honey. That is why I feel so much guilt. At this point, Hanbit calmly fires back with a calculated question. When you dropped those files earlier, happened to catch a glimpse, does this new project have something to do with the game LPT, sir? He slams both palms onto the desk, holding nothing back. Precisely. It's a high-stakes project involving the hardware industry, but the neural interface is so convoluted that I'm forced to dive into the game myself for an extended period. Min-ho's expression is deadly serious. He thumps his chest, declaring, when it comes to conquering that world, I believe I can be your ultimate trump card. The twilight sky gradually bleeds into bruised shades of purple. He kills the engine and steps out. Hanbit stands frozen, his gaze locked onto the glowing phone screen. Yeon-yu frantically waves to catch him. Buddy, over here. Hanbit looks sideways at his sudden unannounced appearance. Yeon-yu flashes a beaming smile as he closes the gap. How was the grind? Did you survive the corporate jungle today? Dark shadows are carved deep under his eyelids. Hanbit arches an eyebrow and gestures at Yeon-yu's haggard face. You look like a literal wraith. Did you get a single wink of sleep? He cheerfully chirps. I managed a solid 3 hours. Anyway, let's duck inside and talk business. The neon cafe sign flickers to life. Hanbit exhales a soul-weary sigh. He collapses back into his chair, groaning, this office life is nothing short of pure torture. Yeon-yu notes Hanbit's defeated state and asks, is it truly that hellish? He hesitates before muttering, I honestly want to spend an entire stream just incinerating that team leader. Then Hanbit faceplants onto the table, wondering, so what was so urgent you had to see me? Yeon-yu shoves his smartphone screen directly into his field of vision. Look at this, just witness the madness. He excitedly explains, these are the flood of messages sent the moment we went offline yesterday. Dozens of powerhouse corporations are desperate to get a piece of us. Yeon-yu pulls the device back toward himself, adding even. Industry titans like Onho Gaming, they're dangling a starting salary of 100 million won. Hanbit is paralyzed into stunned silence. 100 million won. He raises a single index finger and admits awkwardly, right now companies are practically at war over you. Which Titan are you going to choose? In my professional opinion, this offer is the crown jewel. Yeon-yu catches Hanbit's piercing gaze and visibly flinches. Buddy, what's the matter? Why is your look so intense? Did something snap at the office? He plants both hands on the table to hoist himself up. Stop masking it and just level with me. Hanbit steps into Yeon-yu's personal space, his voice dropping to a stern growl. If you lie to me, I'll smell it instantly. You're flinching, making excuses. What are you hiding from me? Hanbit's face was radiating pure bloodlust. Do you truly want me to sell my soul to a major corporation? Yeon-yu erupts into a cold sweat, stammering. Buddy, wait, big bro. I didn't mean anything malicious by it. He clenches his fist and replies, I'm aware of that. Then Hanbit uses both hands to aggressively mess up Yeon-yu's hair, but don't you dare bury your true feelings like that. He knit his brows and shrieks, ouch, watch the scalp. Yeon-yu's high-pitched yelp reverberates through the cafe. He dejectedly hangs, his head muttering with a pout that was uncalled for. I was only, Yeon-yu whimpers, pouring his heart out. I know you're drowning in debt, so I just wanted you to have the ultimate safety net. I also know your pride wouldn't let me just keep bankrolling you like this. A starting salary of 100 million won, isn't that a life-changing offer? Hanbit waves his hand dismissively. I appreciate the sentiment. And obviously, a 100 million won payday is staggering to me. But you were the one who opened the door to LPT. Yeon-yu listens with sudden gravity to his words. I think I need to hear what your actual dream is first. Yeon-yu confesses honestly, it's true that LPT is currently a cultural phenomenon, but to be frank, it doesn't really resonate with me. He recalls the moment he collapsed tiredly onto his knees, chasing reckless adventure. An absolute freedom sounds romantic on paper, but the moment I actually dived into the gameplay, it was far more brutal than I imagined. My progress was practically non-existent. Honestly, I'm far better suited for the sidelines. Yeon-yu gazes intensely at Hanbit's nonchalant posture. To a guy like me, you aren't just a player. He plants his hands on his hips, staring into the horizon. You're the most radiant star in this entire RP universe. Vivid memories surge through Yeon-yu's mind like a cinematic montage, all those electric, heart-pounding moments spent by his side. I want to plunge into the depths of this world and broadcast that exhilaration to the masses. He offers a look of pure, unadulterated sincerity, affirming, that is why I intend to build an empire around your talent. Hanbit flashes a subtle, knowing smile at Yeon-yu, who presses on, forget some corporate machine. We'll forge a guild that acts as a bridge between reality and the digital realm. Hanbit rests his chin on his palm. Oh, isn't that the exact same pipe dream you rambled about back during our service? Yeon-yu instantly recoils in denial. Not a chance. Do you even recall my words during that grueling training? Hanbit asks, utterly perplexed. Why does that even matter now? More importantly, how do you intend to monetize this? He clutches his smartphone, scrolling frantically while explaining a revolutionary video upload feature on Beaconer, the massive platform they stream on. The advertising revenue is actually far more staggering than I envisioned. Yeon-yu pauses on a viral thread about Hanbit and continues, and right now you are the most trending user on all of Nakoa. Better yet, they're boosting our content directly into the premium featured slots. He envisions Hanbit hoisting a banner leading a massive legion and adds, once the world witnesses your prowess, they'll start flocking to the world of LPT, and a tidal wave of people will beg to join us on this epic odyssey. Yeon-yu is practically vibrating with hype and asks, what's your take on scaling our broadcast to the moon? Hanbit breaks into a cold sweat, hesitating, as he voices a lingering concern. Didn't you vow to help me secure a position at a major tech corporation? Yeon-yu visualizes himself and Hanbit dominating a global stage and says, oh, change of plans, you won't be some lowly employee? We're going to be co-CEOs. Behind them stands a prestige plaque, etched with the declaration, I'll prove to the world how legendary an LPT show can truly be. He declares with iron resolve, there will be moments you'll have to go, live solo, so I'll provide every ounce of support I can muster. Hanbit lets out a weary, drawn-out sigh. Co-CEO, just be honest, you're just asking me for a huge favor. At that moment, a waitress arrives with their meal. Your order is served, gentlemen. Yeon-yu beams with a broad look of gratitude. Much appreciated. I'll definitely ensure this venture becomes a titan. Hanbit's face turns unusually pensive, his gaze dropping to the floor. Naturally, his primary motive for RP is the cold hard cash, but Hanbit envisions his very soul reaching toward a blinding divine light. This is also my ultimate opportunity to finally reach alpha. He catches a glimpse of his own reflection in the coffee's surface. If I conquer the game and uncover alpha, will the truth finally be revealed? To me, Hanbit's brow furrows with simmering rage, questioning why he was forced to die. In a cycle of endless agony, suddenly a phone shatters the silence, seizing the attention of both him and Yeonyu. Yeonyu snatches it up instantly. Balancing his plate, he shouts with excitement, "I'm getting..." Bombarded by a swarm of new alerts while shoveling food, his eyes remain glued to the device. "I suppose this is just the price of fame." Suddenly, gasps in horror. "Wait! What the hell is happening? What is... all of this I need to make an emergency call. Give me a second." Yeonyu frantically dials a contact, muttering under his breath. "Please pick up. Damn it, pick up." He glares anxiously at the screen and roars, "Why the hell aren't you answering?" At a critical juncture like this, Hanbit watches Yeonyu spiral into a frantic panic and demands an explanation. He abruptly shifts focus to the archer. "Do you still recall that pioneer squad we encountered back in Ellen?" Hanbit quickly searches his memory and retorts, "Ah, the ones with the gilded bow." "Correct?" Yeonyu knits his brows and clarifies, "They're a Vanguard force serving a German titan known as Baswan." Then he exhales a heavy, weary sigh, sinking into his chair. Word is out that the reward tiers for the spell quest will plummet based on arrival rank. Baswan has declared they intend to monopolize this entire trial. Aside from the bomb slimes, for some bizarre reason, every other slime species has vanished from the map. Jinu relays the grim intel to Hanbit. "Vicious rumors are catching fire that you and I conspired to rig the game." He freezes, his expression twisted in confusion. "What kind of delusional nonsense is this?" Elsewhere, Ju violently thrashes, his fist in the air. "This is infuriating those Bajwan bastards and Dark Dragon Lofa. You're all snake oil salesmen," he roars, in a fit of outrage. "Is there no one left in this world?" With a shred of integrity, Na Yun plants her hands on her hips and glares. "You're barking too loud? Pipe down for a second." She retrieves an ancient tome with a verdant gem embedded in its spine. "At least I was fortunate enough to secure a rare drop. If I had delayed any longer, I wouldn't even have trash tier loot to show for it." Ju white knuckles his hand in fury. "How can quest spoils be dictated by first come, first served logic? That's utterly rigged." Na-un doesn't even grant him a glance. "If you functioned with a brain instead of a mouth, it'd be obvious. They'd never just distribute unique rank artifacts like candy, you moron." Then she pivots sharply to explain. "That's exactly why I insisted we had to blitz the objective. I don't know what Baswan pulled, but even the bomb slimes have ceased their bond cycles." Taemin gestures at Na-un and counters, "So what? I couldn't have predicted things would spiral out of control like this." She issues a lethal threat. "If you dare irritate me again, I'll PK you where you stand." Deep within the forest, Yu and Na-un continue. It's their tactical briefing. Regardless, that Dark Dragon fellow is forced to make a formal statement today. Once he digests Baswan's ultimatum, he'll have to scramble for an exit strategy. Back at the cafe, Hanbit scowls and asks, "This Baswan Corporation, just how formidable are we talking?" Yeonyu visualizes the elite archer and replies, "A guild's power is measured by the caliber of high-tier players they leash. That archer boasts 9,000 combat power. Even if he's mid-tier among the rankers, he's still a top-level threat." Hanbit remains stoic and crosses his arms. "There's still a countermeasure to this." Hanbit tightens his grip on the coffee cup. "Yeonyu delay today's broadcast for a bit. I have a few variables to verify." Then he composedly takes a slow sip of water. Night drapes over the urban skyline. Hanbit cracks open a tome and scans the parchment. He halts to dissect a specific passage. A predatory smile creeps across his lips. He exclaims with triumph, his eyes devouring the text. "Found it." Hanbit steps through the veil into another world. Time to investigate the source. He marches directly toward the cavern. "The coordinates of this abyss are exactly where my memory placed them." Hanbit stops dead before a volatile bomb slime, muttering, "The bomb slime population is converging in this grotto. Just as I suspected. I must be surgical to ensure none of them self-detonate." Then he ventures into the dark heart of the cave. Suddenly, Hanbit pauses and peers into the abyss. He tilts his chin up, calculating there's only one logical reason why these bomb slimes would swarm in such massive clusters at a single epicenter like this. Hanbit turns. He cries out from the shadows, "Found you!" The colossal king bomb slime finally looms into his line of sight. King bomb slime level 7. Hanbit narrows his gaze, mentally dissecting this gelatinous monarch. Its inherent traits allow it to beckon and assimilate lesser individuals to bloat its massive frame. He gauges the sheer mass of the king bomb slime and muses still the sheer volume of drones it's attracting at. One shouldn't be this astronomical. There has to be a hidden catalyst at play. Suddenly, a sharp glint of light catches Hanbit's eye. He stares intently at the object and mutters, "Is that A high-frequency monster lure device, Handbit approaches the mechanical lure and sneers. The signature of Baswan is etched right onto the casing, begins mapping out its treacherous function. A monster lure is a rare consumable typically unearthed in the treacherous northern region dungeons. Handbit pieced together the puzzle of the king bomb slime, Basuan, deliberately planted a lure within the heart of this cavern, the natural sanctuary of the king bomb slime. The synergy between the monster's predatory traits and the device's artificial pulse created this unadulterated disaster. He realizes no wonder this place has been purged of everything except these explosive slimes. Hanbit raises his palm to ignite his mana. Fireball. He launches the blazing orb directly at the king bomb slime. In a heartbeat, the beast is swallowed by Hanbit's roaring inferno. The king bomb slime, buckling under the magical pressure, begins to fracture and shatter. Instantly, it dissipates into nothingness. The system interface erupts with a barrage of notification as system experience points. Harvested 7,720. System U. Have achieved 4 consecutive level ups. System 4. Stat points granted. Title Bane of Bomb. Slimes has been unlocked. Bane of Bomb slimes lethality against all slime type. Entities increased by 5%. System Elite Monster Subjugation. Finalized. Bonus 1. Stat point. Title Nicola Cup 20. Synchronized exponentially boosting. Skill Mastery. Handbit stands there, slack-jawed, hardly daring to believe the windfall. Good grief, look at the mountain of loot piled up in here. A web browser flickers with breaking news. A leaked video clip circulating the forums is rapidly becoming the talk of the community. A tidal wave of queries follows. Users are reminded to adhere to the community code of conduct. Where did that plague of bomb slimes vanish to so suddenly? The damning evidence of the king bomb slime and the Baswan lure were all captured by Hanbit. Truth be told, I was the one who filmed the evidence inside that grotto. Then Yan Yu helped me leak it under an anonymous alias. Yan Yu scowls at his dual monitors and spits. What a bunch of absolute bottom-feeding scumbags. The digital landscape is now drowning in righteous fury. Regarding his strategy, naturally, I strategically edited out the part where I slaughtered the slimes. And as expected, the comment threads are a battlefield of insults aimed directly at Baswan. Hanbet is completely absorbed in deciphering the tome. Zen Chummer is the elusive NPC I discovered within the comprehensive guidebook. He suddenly visualizes Zen Chummer scouring the depths of the cave. He is the master miner who single-handedly carved the very cavern where the king bomb slime took root. Zen Chummer was left broken when the fruits of his labor were usurped by the gluttonous king slime. Pale morning light spills into the mouth of the cave. My hypothesis regarding the vanishing slimes was tied entirely to the boss. Hanbit reaches out toward the empty air peering forward, and verifying Zen Chummer's lore allowed me to pinpoint the lair with ease. Under the azure sky, with a soft breeze rustling the foliage, there is one anomaly, though. Zen Chummer's name is recorded in the guide. Hanbit rests his chin on his hand, looking deeply pensive. There isn't a single out of data regarding that specific cave anywhere else. He envisions the enigmatic figure who gave him the book, even for a guide. Book it doesn't necessarily have to reveal, exposing every hidden detail. However, the crux of the mystery lies within the knowledge held by adventurer. A Hanbit mentally revisits every cryptic note in the manual he absorbed. A staggering wealth of data was meticulously recorded, yet the accuracy remains frustratingly vague, with several passages outright contradicting the truth. He knits his brows, drowning in contemplation. It feels as if a vital gear was deliberately removed from the machine. Hanbit takes a bold step forward. Adventurer. What is the true nature of that enigmatic identity? Yan Yu raises a finger and lectures skill proficiency. That's the exact reason the masses shun magic. His entire presence turns morose as he gnashes his teeth. Mastery must be absolute to even trigger skills. However, the grind to elevate magic. Proficiency is a literal nightmare. Yan Yu flashes a pained, awkward smile. Since it's an ordeal, an average player can scarcely endure, most simply quit. Many are just loitering, waiting for mages to get massive buffs before they abandon ship for a more forgiving skill tree. Then he locks eyes with Hanbit and presses on. But in your freakish case, Hanbit squints, feeling a wave of helplessness at Yonyu's interrogation. Does achieving 100% total mastery in a single day make even a lick of sense? He lunges forward and playfully jabs at Hanbit. This has to be a fabrication, like some twisted overdue April Fool's prank, right? Please tell me I'm hallucinating. He awkwardly retorts, look, it's only tier 1 magic, the absolute bottom of the barrel. Yon Yu invades Hanbit's personal space. Mastering even a basic spell usually demands an entire month. Quit stalling and open your status window this instant. he gapes at. Yeon-Yu's obsessive behavior. Why does this guy have to be such a drama queen? He stubbornly insists, produce the evidence. Right now, Hanbit reluctantly yields to Yeon-Yu's relentless badgering. See for yourself. I told you I wasn't lying. He looks like a hollow shell as he collapses to the dirt. Yeon-Yu is reeling from the revelation, tears streaming down. It's a bug, isn't it? It absolutely has to be a glitch. This is physically impossible. Hanbit sighs and turns to walk away, calling over his shoulder. Well, it is what it is. He groans like a reanimated corpse. I really didn't want to witness you being this brokenly OP. Hanbit suddenly warns him, and don't you dare mention the mastery level during the stream. Understood. Yeon-Yu looks at him vacantly. We need to dismantle those villains first. Then Hanbit curls his lips into a smirk and greets the audience. Greetings everyone, Lufa is officially live, the badge. Affixed to his collar catches his gaze, Hanbit looks back and commands, hurry up and lay out the facts clearly. A sudden bolt of clarity strikes Yeon-Yu's mind. He recalls the moment he was merrily interacting during the broadcast. Oh, you've already unlocked the subscriber badge, Yeon-Yu clasps his hands and speaks with gravity. Everyone remain calm. We require a moment to verify these startling developments. Let me be crystal clear, we have zero affiliation with the Baswan group. We will shortly unveil undeniable proof. So please stay tuned. He discusses Hanbit and Dark Dragon, noting has urgent matters to settle before tracking down Borla's legendary master. So, tonight let's all witness the truth together. He squints, voicing a lingering concern. Did Leah vanish into the blue again? Tell Bio. Responds dryly, precisely. She crosses her arms in defeat. That girl refuses to heed a single word of my guidance. Hanbit rests his chin on his hand and flashes a warm smile. Go easy on her. Kids, her age, are naturally rebellious. She'll return shortly. Bayo remained stoic, a faint smirk forming. Then, time to retreat. Fatty stayed silent, merely curling his lips. She offers a soft, genuine thanks. I hope you're right. My thanks, Dark Dragon. At this juncture, Bio asks, are you making a stop today? Dropping by for anything specific? Hanbit scratches his chin and clarifies, actually I'm seeking enlightenment on the next tier of magic. A tidal wave of messages scrolls past. The next magic tier. Oh, please, Dark Dragon is still practically a total noob. Did he honestly expect her to just cave in? Simply because he asked, she immediately and warmly consents. Master the next magic skill. It would be my pleasure. A row of dumbfounded comments erupts. Wait, what the hell? Why did she fold so easily? And what about his mastery requirements? Is this some hidden quest that bypasses the mastery grind? This is mental, and Bio's character model is just as stunning for real. Bayo slides an ancient tome toward Hanbit and says, claim this. This is your second arcane spellbook. The system triggers a new objective. Questmaster the second. Magic skill from Bio. Objective transcribe Bio's spellbook. Reward 10,000 gold fireburst tier 2. Epic grade 3 stat points. 3,000 EXP. Live messages pile up and race by. What only epic grade? Kind of a letdown, it's not unique. Are you people insane? Epic grade is already incredibly rare. My standards have been completely ruined by watching Dark Dragon's luck. Maybe the top tier rewards are exclusive to the first to finish better move before those Baswan vultures. Snatch it. Hanbit slowly retrieves the tome and peers into the distance. A horde of eavesdroppers loitering outside the door catches his eye. Right, I imagine everyone is dying of curiosity. Hanbit flips to the center of the book. He intensely absorbs the arcane knowledge within. Suddenly, a golden alert flashes. Siddham. Quest officially conquered. As the first player to complete this trial, the reward tier has been transcended from epic to unique. Gold bounty amplified from 10,000 to 20,000. Stat points boosted from 3 to 6. EXP skyrocketed from 3,000 to 7,000. Your level has surged by 2. You have been granted 2 additional bonus stat points. Yeon-Yu ecstatically shouts. Everyone witnessed this Dark Dragon leveled up and instantly mastered Fireburst. Shocked reactions flood in. A tier 2 unique skill. Are you kidding me? Even a standard tier 1 buff is a rare find these days. First place again and another unique. Drop, I guess, epic grade just isn't on Dark Dragon's level, is it? Well, this honestly makes me question my entire existence. For certain, this quest payout will plummet based on the order of completion. Those Bajwan thugs, I'm literally green with envy over that full unique. Gear set. Bayo keeps her gaze fixed on Hanbit and advises him, if you encounter obstacles, seek out the magic research laboratory in Ife City. You'll surely find your path there. He turns and gives his word. Much appreciated. I'll be Back soon. Then Hanbit composedly departs. He swings the wooden door open to face a hostile crowd. Yan Yu covers his mouth in terror. Whoa, this looks like a death trap. The live comments pour in. It's the Basuan Guild look. They're swarming. The entrance like starving flies. Those absolute bastards have already initiated a lockdown to dominate this sector. The archer pierces Hanbit with a frigid glare. He and Yan Yu calmly march forward. Hanbit brushes past him and taunts, "Hey, big bros. You look way too stressed. Lighten up a bit." "Did someone just ruin your day?" Without a shred of fear, he calls back. "I hope things go smoothly for you. But I'm dying to see how this train wreck ends." Bao's shop grows more chaotic by the second. "Listen, Bao, hand over that spellbook this instant." "Bao, I demand a spellbook too. Don't forget me. Give me one." A frenzied mob gathers before her shop waiting. Those Basuan goons are truly beyond ruthless. The Basuan enforcers are a truly merciless pack of wolves, and utterly oblivious to the storm brewing. Hanbit hunkered down with a predatory smirk. Couldn't agree more. Those vultures are nothing but bottomless pits of avarice. Yan Yu shoots him a frantic look, his voice trembling. "But grand schemes aside, what was the big revelation if we don't act? Basuan is going to sink their claws into every last scrap of loot again." Hanbit counters with icy composure. "Tell me, Yan Yu, in your professional opinion, what truly separates a pro from an amateur?" The archer brandishes his spellbook. Before the legion and bellows, "On my mark. I'll count to 3 and everyone synchronizes their activation." Hanbit rises slowly. As the countdown begins. 1. He plants his hands on his hips, radiating dark anticipation. The curtain is finally about to rise. Hanbit's gaze fixates on the shop front. 2. The guild members hoist their toms toward the sky as the archer roars the final digit. Simultaneously, they tear the pages open. The archer's eyes scan the arcane text with grim determination. At that precise moment, Hanbit's lips curl into a whisper. 3. The second the books are unfurled in their grasp, the archer's entire vanguard erupts into a violent inferno. It's a backfire. What kind of sorcery is this? The bald enforcer howls. In agony, "My precious spellbook." Bewildered messages flood the chat. "Wait, why are those tomes being incinerated so?" Aggressively, the brown-haired girl watches in horror as her loot is rapidly reduced to ash. This hellfire, it's immune to our efforts. A wave of sadistic comments surges. "Man, that glow is unusually satisfying. Basic when magic won't douse a cursed rookie." This is absolute peak comedy. Bio crosses her arms. Her face a mask of simmering fury at the wreckage. Before her. "What in the world is happening? Get some water." Panic-stricken. Comments skyrocket. "Oh man, Bio!" Has officially snapped. She looks like she's about to commit a massacre. Lucky the shop is still standing. In a heartbeat, she snarls out a chilling ultimatum spacing every word, "Every last one of you. Get out. Right now." The archer's squad wails in sheer desperation. "We're ruined. Curse it all." Hanbit clasps his hands, savoring the chaotic spectacle. They're about to be charred into premium charcoal. What a tragic waste. Yan Yu gestures wildly toward the shop and stammers. "So this was the grand finale you predicted." A deluge of messages streaks across the screen. "Professor Hanbit, you are a cold-blooded mastermind. But seriously, why did the magic only manifest for Dark Dragon? I'm just as stumped as you. Let's just soak in the carnage for now. This is premium tier entertainment." The scout in gray frantically checks the system notifications. The quest parameters, they've been downgraded. The UI displays the gutted rewards. Questmaster, the second magic tier from Bio. Objective: activate the spellbook. Reward 5,000 gold fireburst rank. 2-1. Stat point 1,000 EXP. A mountain of text flashes past. The reward tiers have been absolutely nerfed. It truly was first come, first served. A magic quest where the bounty rots before anyone can even cast it brutal. It's because of those Basuan vultures that every player following them has to eat dirt. The archer's voice drops to a lethal chill. State the casualties. How many completed the trial? The lieutenant beside him hesitates, trembling. The truth is, not a single soul. A thick, oppressive aura bleeds from the leader. Yan Yu visibly flinches as he spots the archer stalking toward them. He's closing in with murderous intent. A flood of speculative chatter erupts. That archer looks borderline homicidal. Is a top-tier pro really going to gank a level 1 newbie? Dark Dragon has to maintain his poker face, so he's putting on a masterclass in acting unbothered. Hanbit observes the approaching threat. Without a flicker of anxiety, the archer glares at Hanbit and barks with looming authority. "Listen up, rookie. You and I have some business to settle."